To Pro Players Stadium between Fort Lauderdale and Miami in South Florida. 72 degrees here at kickoff. Of course, the NFL home of the Miami Dolphins. This is a prescription athletic turf field. It's called PAT, and the man who will be roaming the sidelines and talking about things down there, giving us the news breaks during the game, Craig Sager. Craig.
Well, it's not unusual for teams to dedicate bowl games to their senior classes, but this one has added significance on both sides. A win by Virginia would give the senior class their 33rd career victory, making them the winningest class in school history. The Miami seniors have been weathering storms since they arrived on campus on the eve of Hurricane Andrew. A Pell Grant fraud, NCAA sanctions, arrests and suspensions. They mourn in the heart and on the helmet the loss of two teammates, Robert Woodis, who died in the Value jet plane crash, and Marlon Barnes, who was murdered in his apartment. Those who remain have endured. They won their final home game in the Orange Bowl. Then they won on the road in Syracuse for a share of the Big East title. And perhaps more importantly, they have been honored by the College Football Association with academic accolades for a graduation rate of over 80%. But the one thing this class has not won is a bowl game. Bob?
Thanks, Craig. And you're looking at Butch Davis in his second year with the University of Miami, an assistant at Dallas with the Cowboys from '89 to '94, and before that with Jimmy Johnson at the University of Miami, here as an assistant in Oklahoma State back in the late 70s, early 80s. And he wants to turn this program around, not only to get them winning national championships again, but to turn them around in the classroom. And according to Butch, when we talked to him yesterday, the thing he's most proud of is a 42% increase in class attendance and a 70% graduation rate for the seniors at the University of Miami. George Welch, before he came to Virginia, they had never gone to a bowl game. Since then, 7 of the last 8 years, 9 times total. And George Welch, who built a tremendous program at Navy, he was a great player at Navy, was third in the Heisman Trophy balloting in 1955, has really built a consistent program at Virginia. Here is the kickoff down to Terrence Wilkins at his own 2. And out to only the 14-yard line. And there Virginia starts inside their own 20. That was Mark Carbone who came down to make the initial hit. And we come out with the Virginia Cavaliers and Tim Sherman, who is the quarterback. Only 4 TD passes, 11 interceptions. And this Virginia offense has scored only 2 TDs in their last 14 quarters. And there's his dad, Tom Sherman, who's the wide receivers coach. Virginia, first down 10 from the 14-yard line. Tiki Barber, Darrell Medley in the backfield. And they'll start, as you'll see, a long time all night. They'll go to Tiki Barber. Not successful, hit behind the line of scrimmage. Kennard Lang, defensive end, made the play. Let's take a look at the Virginia Cavaliers and their offensive football team. They do not throw the ball very well, certainly not successfully for touchdowns. You'll be seeing a lot of Tiki Barber in the backfield. Tiki Barber with 3,389 yards, the all-time leading rusher at Virginia, thanks to a very good offensive line. Laley, the left guard, is really their leader there. On the rollout, left side, Sherman leveled. He wanted to throw the ball to Darrell Medley. It's incomplete. 3rd and long coming up for the Virginia Cavaliers. We told you this Miami team is 12th ranked in total defense. They surrender about 277 yards a game. Holmes and Lang, excellent defensive ends. Fortney, a good run stopper in the middle. The linebackers, they're all well balanced. All are good tacklers. All are solid, led by James Burgess in the middle. And in the secondary, the man you'll be seeing a lot of tonight at strong safety, number 3, Tremaine Mack. This will be 3rd down 10, Virginia at the Cavalier 14-yard line. They go to a 3 wide out set, all 3 to the left side. Brian Owen in motion. Sherman flushed from the pocket. Virginia gets a grand total of about 1.5 yards in their first 3 plays. The linebackers, Coley and Russell, combine on the stop. This is virtually a home game for Miami, only 30 miles north of their campus. And already we have a punting situation for Will Bryce. He was an All-American last year, All-ACC this year, averages nearly 45 yards per punt. And here's Dwayne Starks, fastest man on the Miami football team. Starks is going to fair catch it. back at his own 33-yard line. 49-yard punt. And now here's the man we were talking about. I said he's the quarterback with a linebacker attitude. Ryan Clement. He's played with a separated shoulder, a sore ankle. 9th in the nation in passing efficiency. He's a junior from Denver, Colorado. 18 TDs, only 6 interceptions. That's what the University of Miami wants to come back to. The championship. They will begin from their own 33-yard line. 3 and out for the Cavaliers. On the first down, the ball is loose and picked up by Clement back at his own 24-yard line. Great pressure right up the middle from Wally Rayner.
That's Virginia,
loose, yeah.
And that's Virginia in that pressure defense. You got to watch Ferrier. Ferrier gets the pressure. He runs through on first down. And look at this. Jams the fullback, straightens him up, goes back and recovers the fumble. Look at him get to the fumble. That's great pressure by Virginia. They will zone blitz you. They will blitz 6, 7. They will sometimes send 8 rushes. But Ferrier and Sharper are the teammates.
A loss of 8. This will be second down 18. Clement behind the center. It is complete to the left side to Gerald Daphne, who is the backup tight end. And let's take a look at this Miami offensive football team. They've been hot lately, as I told you, 81 points in their last 2 regular season games. Tony Gator, former running back, Yatil Green, a pro prospect. Chris Jones is the starting tight end. Darryl McMillan starts at the three backs really play at tailback, but Darryl will start there. You'll also see Trent Jones and Edgerrin James, and there's that offensive line. Casey Jones, the senior center. Some say he's the best in America at the center position. This is third down 12. Flags are down. Free play. Deep ball. Yatil Green, touchdown. 69 yards, and I believe it was an offside call against Virginia. James Ferrier may have jumped offside. That's going to be a Miami touchdown. Our SEC officiating crew penalty against Virginia. Bill Goss is our referee. Officially 70 yards on the touchdown pass. Clement to Yatil Green.
Lined up offside. That penalty is declined. It's a personal foul against the defense. We have a touchdown and a 15-yard penalty assessed on the kickoff.
So Virginia really starting in a hole. They'll be down 7-0 if Andy Crossland, the freshman, hits this point after. He's both their kicker and the punter here. And they'll have a personal foul assessment on the kickoff. 7-0 Miami. It was 3 and out for the Cavaliers and the Hurricanes. And Mark, I know you've seen it a million times, and there's a little bit of an encounter on the field again. You've seen it a lot. On a free play, defense relaxes sometimes.
Well, you have to concentrate, particularly in this situation, because the offense is taught to go right at the defense. If they jump off sides, if there's movement over there, you stick with your play. And that's just what Miami did.
Joe Williams trying to cover Yatil Green, and Green gets his 4th touchdown of the year. Yatil Green caught the 70-yard touchdown pass, only a junior. A lot of people think he's an NFL prospect.
He definitely is. He's the most physical wide receiver they have. Watch him at the top of the screen. He's going one-on-one right at Joe Williams. Joe Williams is really the 3rd-team quarterback because of the injury to Joe Rowe. He takes it right at him, gives him a little move to the outside, and he's gone. Ryan Clement looks at him. He's going to look for this matchup for the entire evening, so watch for it for the rest of the evening.
Took 55 seconds for Miami to score. And after the penalty on the personal foul, the Miami Hurricanes are going to kick off inside Virginia territory. You know, the drive for Miami started with a loss as Miami made great penetration. Miami's known for their upfield defense, particularly from their linebackers. But then on a penalty, there was the 5-yard, first of all, offside call that was declined, and then a personal foul call against Virginia. And because there's an opportunity here for an onside kick, 2 15-yard penalties move it to the 35-yard line of Virginia. And we'll come back for that kickoff in just a moment. A very warm welcome to the Blockbuster Blimp and its crew for tonight's event. It is 72 degrees here in South Florida. Piloting the Blockbuster Blimp is Captain Terry Dillard from Orlando, Florida. So 2 15-yard personal foul penalties, and that's moved this down to the 35-yard line. Mark, I've never seen a kickoff this close to the receiving team's goal line.
No, this is very unusual. And if I'm Miami, I try an onside kick here. What do you have to lose? Even if Virginia recovers it, you still have them most likely inside the 30-yard line. So for a strategy point of view, maybe Butch will try.
This is George Gaitan, who's their specialty kicker for Miami. And as you can see, they're lined up for onside. I think that's why Virginia called the timeout. There it is, got to travel 10 yards. Didn't go 10. Ball is loose down at about the 26-yard line. But remember, it's got to travel 10 yards.
Virginia touched it.
Yes, that's true. Came up and stopped it, and he came loose, and it's Miami ball. Virginia did not allow it to travel 10 yards, but since they touched it, Miami's Earl Little fell on it, and Rondé Barber was the man who fumbled it, and down 7-0. Miami has Virginia with their backs against the wall early.
The problem for Virginia is the wrong Barber caught this ball. It should have been Tiki Barber. You're going to see Rondé. The ball hits him in the chest. He's got to scoop it in and fall on it, not try to make a big play. But the hustle of the Miami Hurricanes, getting down to the bottom of the pile, digging that ball out, enabled them to recover the ball.
First down 10 from the 25-yard line. Ryan Clement wants to throw, plenty of time. Screen over on the left side. Well read, but the tackle is broken by Daryl McMillan. He still loses 10 yards back to the 36-yard line. Wow, what a wild and woolly start to this football game. We don't mind that at all. After all, we're here for a little entertainment, right? Here's the Virginia Cavaliers defensive line. They are solid. Their sack leader is Dwayne Ashman, number 94, their senior. The linebackers are the key to this team, particularly Ferrier and Sharper, both seniors, both ranked in the top 10 by the NFL scouts coming out. Rondé Barber, Tiki's brother and twin, is at one corner, Joe Williams at the other. Their big cover corner, Joe Rowe, not playing tonight because he's hurt. Here's a handoff to Daryl McMillan inside the 35 to about the 33-yard line, where Todd White makes the stop for Virginia. Todd is their senior right defensive tackle, number 91.
One of the first worries for the Virginia Cavaliers was to stop the running game of Miami. Thus far, they've done that, but now they have to concentrate on the pass. On 2nd and long and 3rd and long, Virginia likes to go to their zone blitz, which means they blitz 5 or 6 people, get those linebackers involved with, they run stunts, and sometimes you'll even see a defensive tackle drop off into zone coverage.
McMillan and Williams in the backfield for Clement. This is 3rd and 16 from the Virginia 31. Movement on the line, no flag. Deep drop, Clement. Intercepted. That's Rondé Barber making up for his miscue. There's a penalty marker down at about the 36-yard line. The pass was intended for sophomore Magic Benton, number 8, but it was picked off by Rondé Barber, his 4th interception of the year, 16th career. This could be a big turnaround, but a penalty marker is down. Again, an SEC officiating crew. This is Bill Goss, the head man, the referee. Neither team seems to know.
On the return of the interception, personal foul in Miami. Penalty 15 yards, assessed from the end of the kick.
Wow, well, that certainly changes things in a hurry. Virginia was looking at being down 14 or worse to nothing here, but it's turned around that quickly.
And Rondé Barber redeemed himself after fumbling the kickoff. Watch this play. Rondé Barber keeps his eye on the ball. This is a defense that's intercepted 20. They do tip drills. That's a perfect illustration of the tip drill. Taking that ball, tipping it in the air, catching it, and then going down the field and getting yardage out of it.
This team had 20 interceptions in the regular season for the 4th consecutive year. 3 wideouts in for the Cavaliers. 1st and 10 from their 47-yard line. Barber likes to run it inside, even though he's a little guy at 5'10", 195. He gets it out to about the 48-yard line. Chad Pegues, who's playing in place of the usual starter Marvin Davis at the left tackle spot, makes the play for Miami.
And Tiki may be small in stature, but he's got a big heart. He follows that blocking offensive line, and he loves the ISO play. He loves to follow his fullback, and he takes the ball north and south. He's not a guy that will run to the sidelines. He'll make the move and bounce off the defender and take it towards the goal line.
So Miami took them only 55 seconds to score and take the lead 7-0. 10:36 to go in the first period. But the Cavs have it 2nd and 7 at midfield. Sherman to throw, slips and down at the 43. They may credit Kenny Holmes with a sack there. He has 10 on the season, a loss of 7 yards. Sherman slips. Speaking of that, let's talk, as we look at this, talk a little bit about the condition of this PAT field.
Well, this field is a little wet. We had some rain last night. In the middle of the field, it's been resurfaced. They added some new grass to the middle of the field. That's why it's a little soft out there. But as you see, Kenny Holmes in this situation, he just blows by the outside of the offensive line and gets to the quarterback. Miami has blitzed twice thus far. This is a team that likes to get there with their front four, and in the first 8 plays, they blitzed twice.
On 3rd and 13, Barber on a slight delay gets across the 45, and Kenny Holmes steps up to make the tackle. Most people believe Kenny Holmes, who's a senior, will go about the 2nd round of the NFL draft. Miami, of course, leads the world in producing NFL players.
They definitely do. Most high school kids in Florida and across the country, and they want to go to the NFL. Their first choice is usually the University of Miami.
So it's 3 and out. Here comes Will Bryce to punt again. First punt was 51 yards. Dwayne Starks runs a 4.25 40. Back at his 10, he's just going to get away from it. There's the poison call, as they call it, the wave off. He's going to get a Virginia bounce down around the 10-yard line. So Miami will have to start there at their 10. We have 9:15 to go in the first quarter. A punt of 43 yards. The Hurricanes leading the Cavs 7-0. You saw that Cavalier interception by Ronde Barber.
When Franklin found he had the ball, he made a connection in the other direction, and the crowd started shouting out interjections.
Ah, you threw the wrong way. Darn, you just lost the game.
Interjections, hallelujah, hallelujah, hallelujah.
The Cavs saw an amazing string of air thievery come to an end when they failed to intercept a pass in their season finale against Virginia Tech. In 39 previous contests, the Cavs established an NCAA record by swiping at least 1 pass in each game. But I think the big story on that music piece was that Mark May, most people don't know this about you, Mark, but your composing career, that was a wonderful little ditty you put together there.
It took me a little time, but my 7-year-old able to help me out with it.
It was nicely done. 1st and 10 from the 10. Miami leading 7-0. Look at the penetration by the Virginia defensive line. Jamie Sharper is the man stopping Dyro McMillan. And by the way, Mark, we're told now that the Miami coaches' headsets don't work. And of course, by rule, that means both sides have to disconnect the headsets. The players are going to have to play this game themselves for a while.
That's the way it should be. These players started this football game with a little bit of a rumble, and will probably finish that way, but they should be out there playing this game, and they are. It's a tough physical football game.
This will be 2nd down 10 for the Hurricanes from their 9. Clement, plenty of time to throw. Across the middle, has a receiver wide open, and he's got it at the 43-yard line. That's Tony Gator, who's the fastest of their wide receivers, a former tailback at 5'8", switched to that position and gets the grab for a gain of 33.
On 1st down, they've got to put pressure on the quarterback. They didn't in this situation. Gator runs loose in the middle of the field. Where's the middle strong safety? There's nobody in the middle of the field. There's not a safety. I talked to the quarterback, Ryan Clement, about this. He said, if that safety's not there, I'm going to take advantage of it.
Take a look at Tony Gator, 5'8", 170 pounds, 7 TD catches. He's a possession receiver, also a touchdown receiver, if you want to call him that, on the 1st down 10. Inside handoff. Stopped right at the line of scrimmage at the 44. Dyro McMillan not having much success so far. Maurice Anderson comes in to make the play, and already Virginia is going to have to be without their senior defensive left end, John Harris, at 6'8" and 270 pounds. He's been ejected on Miami's extra point.
And that's going to hurt Virginia on the defensive side. He was a tough player in there. He provided, 1, a lot of penetration. 2, he provided a lot of pass rush. They're going to miss him out there tonight. They're going to have to go with that zone blitz again. Watch the linebackers come more often on 2nd down.
Miami goes to the I formation on 2nd down 8 from the 45-yard line. Some interior pressure, but still time for Clement to get rid of the ball. It's inside Cavalier territory, close to a first first down at the 48-yard line, going to Yatil Green at 6'2", 205. He's pro size, in that size range of a Jerry Rice, as an example.
He definitely is. He's very physical. They're most physical at wide receiver. But when you go to a zone blitz on the Virginia defense, what Miami does, they've got team speed and tremendous team speed. So Rick Lance, the defensive coordinator, has to come up with another device to put pressure on Miami, but also cover those quick and fast wide receivers on the outside.
They're going to bring the sticks in from the far side to measure. It's very close to a first down. Miami leading in this ball game by a score of 7-0 on a 70-yard touchdown pass from Ryan Clement to Yatil Green on the Hurricanes' first possession. And maybe it's something about Florida. You know, Virginia has played 7 games in the state of Florida and never won here. Not
very promising. If I'm Virginia and I have to play in Florida, maybe I should mail it in.
How about Clement? Off to a good start. 5 for 6, 105 yards with the TD and the Rondé Barber interception. One other note here while we're talking about the Hurricanes. You see the measurement down there. It's going to be short about 6 inches or so. This will be the first time that the Virginia Cavaliers have ever played a natural disaster nickname team.
A natural disaster? The Hurricanes.
There's only 3 that I can think of. The Golden Hurricanes, Tulsa,
yes,
Miami, and Iowa State Cyclones. You know any tornadoes or rainstorms or anybody?
Not offhand, but I'll think about it and get back to you.
All right. Double tight ends, less than a yard. Clement. He looks like a linebacker.
He definitely does.
He loves the contact.
He does. And when you look at Ryan Clement, when we talked to him yesterday, he came down, he had a bruise under his eye, a bruise on his chin. It looked like he just went 5 rounds with Evander Holyfield. He is a tough physical linebacker, and he takes charge of this football team. Make no doubt about it. He is the offensive leader for the Miami Hurricanes.
Yeah, he has some of that black mark over his little mouse under his, what would be his left eye. He was darn proud of that. That's a first down at the 45 of the Cavaliers. We have 7:06 to go in the first period. Along with Craig Sager and Mark May, Bob Neal with you from the 7th annual Carquest Bowl. Tight end Gerald Daffney goes in motion. Only a yard or 2 this time. Daryl McMillan carrying again. McMillan, by the way, had a sprained ankle previously, and there are 3 tailbacks you'll be seeing tonight. Daryl McMillan, who's their leading ground gainer with 560 yards on the year, but you'll also see a very solid little running back by the name of Trent Jones a little later in the game, and a star in the making, or at least they hope so, a freshman by the name of Edgerrin James.
They're really proud of Edgerrin James, and they're very excited about him. He's big and strong and flashy, and he moves the pile. And this guy reminds me a lot of Tony Dorsett. When he's running, it doesn't look like he's moving.
2nd down 9 from the 44. Clement on the drop. Plenty of time. Going to the end zone again. There's Yatil Green. Off the fingertips. Mercy. Joe Williams again. Isolated out there. These Virginia defenders talked all week about, we miss Joe Rowe, we miss Joe Rowe. They had tried Sam McKeever in the Virginia Tech game. Now they've got Joe Williams, who's normally a safety, and they're having trouble one-on-one, Mark.
And I think it's worked to their disadvantage by talking about Joe Rowe, because Miami understands this. They know it's hurt them. They're going right at Joe Williams. Joe Williams hasn't played that much this year. They're taking their opportunities. They're going deep with everything against him also. They know wherever he is on the field, they want to take their shots with him. But what's more important, they're doing a tremendous job of protecting the quarterback.
Really just a loud misfire, though. 3rd down 9. Clement's under pressure. Down to the walls, loose in midfield, and Virginia has it. Dwayne Ashman fell on the ball, but the quarterback pressure came from Jamie Sharper.
And Sharper came from the blind side untouched. Ryan Clement did not see him, and he laid a lick on him. Here you're going to see it. You're going to watch Jamie Sharper on the far side. He's not even touched. Watch Clement. Here he is right here. He's going to come untouched, hit him in the blind side. The quarterback doesn't see him. That's not fair. Clement has to have an opportunity where they protect him from the blind side, or he's got to step up in the pocket and get rid of that ball, because Virginia will blitz you, and blitz you again.
2 Miami turnovers already, an interception and a fumble. Virginia lost it once on the fumble on the onside kick. Here comes Tiki Barber left side at the line of scrimmage. But you see, he got about a yard over here on the left. James Burgess, the 225-pound all-Big East middle linebacker, made the stop for Miami. So Virginia hanging in here. This could easily have been an early blowout, and Tiki Barber is down. This is the young man's last game at the University of Virginia. He's thinking NFL and pro football, and let's hope that this is not a serious injury. They are very short in the tailback spot to begin with. as Barber is down. Anthony Southern, their freshman backup, is hurt and won't play tonight. See what happened, Mark.
Check out Tiki Barber. He takes the pitch from the quarterback, Tim Sherman. He's getting blocking on the outside. He turns it up. But look at the hit on his hip right there by Burgess. Then he takes a helmet right to the hit at the end of the play, and that's where it got him, on his right hip. But if Virginia misses Tiki Barber, that's going to be a major blow for this offense, because he takes most of the responsibility and the pressure off the quarterback, Tim Sherman. When they want a big play, they run the ball. They put the ball in Tiki Barber's hands. Without him, they don't have a go-to guy on offense.
Now redshirt freshman, true freshman, excuse me, Thomas Jones, 5'10", 185, same size, but he's a true freshman in there at the running back spot. He wears number 6. It'll be 2nd and 9 at midfield. Play fake to Thomas. Rolling right, Sherman. What a hit! It's complete to Jermaine Crowell. But Tremaine Mack, we warned you about this young man and his ferocious hitting.
That's the Team Mack. He's telling you, don't come in my area because you're going to pay the price. Watch it right here. You're going to see the wide receiver, Jermaine Crowell, just come across the middle on a slant. And this is why it's his territory, the Team Mack man. You don't come across the middle against me. Right here. Pataya. These are the type of hits when you wake up, you think of mom's home cooking, because you never want to get hit like that.
They say he's a blend of Darren Woodson and Bubba McDowell, 2 great pro safeties. That, by the way, was a 13-yard gain anyway, Virginia's first down. And here is Thomas, the true freshman. Thomas Jones from Big Stone Gap, Virginia. The penalty marker is down at the line of scrimmage. Denny Fortney credit for the tackle. Procedure call against the Cavaliers.
And I think this is going to be a true test for the offensive line for Virginia now with Tiki out there. They're going to have to pick up the pieces, and they're going to have to hold their blocks just a little bit longer.
George Wells, 5 times ACC Coach of the Year.
Only had 6 men on the line of scrimmage. 5-yard penalty, repeat, first down.
You heard the call, only 6 men on the line of scrimmage. George is 63 years old, and I know he's concerned about this young man, only 21 years old, Tiki Barber, with the hard hit in the hip, ACC Player of the Year. 1st and 15 at the Miami 42-yard line. That's Jones in motion out of the backfield. Sherman. Complete, a bobbled catch, but there's going to be a gain on the play of about 7 yards. Crowell made the catch. Twan Russell was covering. There's Crowell. He's 6'4". He's in the height range of Herman Moore, if not the talent range.
But he needs some speed, and he needs to catch a lot more balls than he's caught at the University of Virginia. He's their go-to guy. But this offense, when you saw the quarterback, Tim Sherman, roll out of the pocket, that's what they're going to have to do to be successful, because the 2 defensive ends, Kenny Holmes and Kennard Lang, are putting a lot of pressure on the quarterback tonight.
2nd down 8 from the 35-yard line. Deepest penetration of the night for the Cavaliers. Tim Sherman with the play fake. He can run it. He has over 200 yards rushing on the year. And Tim Sherman, who is not a gifted runner, he's not out of the Steve Young category, but he can get it done when he needs it, gets 10 and gets the first down. And let's go down to Craig Sager and check on Tiki Barber.
Well, Bob, Tiki Barber is on the sidelines right now in a lot of pain. He says he was speared in the back. Right now, the doctors and trainers are looking at him. They don't know if he has a bruised pelvic bone or possibly some rib damage, but there is no word yet, of course, on whether he'll be back in, but he's in a lot of pain on the sidelines right now. Bob?
Yeah, he's worth the price of admission. Let's hope the young man is okay for his sake, but also for ours. He's an exciting running back. 1st and 10 from the 25 of Miami. Inside handoff to Darrell Medley. Medley only had 9 carries all year, to tell you how they go to Tiki.
That's what happens when you run a 2-back offense. The fullback never gets the ball. He's just another offensive lineman out there in a running back's number.
There you go. That's his regular season average. 9 carries, 24 yards, 2 catches. 2nd and 7 at the Miami 22-yard line now. Cavaliers could be down in this game had things kept going Miami's way, 14 or 21 to nothing. But it's 7-0 late in the first period, thanks to 2 Miami turnovers. Here's the handoff to the young tailback. Ooh, he took a hit. And the ball came loose.
T-Mac.
This is Tremaine Mack. There's no sign that it's been blown dead. Mack has it all the way back for a touchdown. The freshman Thomas Jones coughed it up, and Mr. Playmaker Tremaine Mack was knocked out by Earl Little, number 4, the cornerback, and a 79-yard return by Tremaine Mack.
Talk about Johnny on the spot. They try to run the counter tray, which is a play that's beloved to me from the Washington Redskins. But what happens is the running back does not hold the ball. You've got to hold the ball in this type of game, in any type of game. But Tremaine Mack, Johnny on the spot. We talked about him being a big player, and here he comes up with another big play.
Just as I was saying, Virginia had been able to avoid getting too far behind here thanks to Miami turnovers. Virginia coughs it up for the second time. Here's the point after by Andy Crossland, and it is 14-0. Miami on a pass play of 70 yards and a fumble recovery of 79 yards. Here it is again, Mark.
Watch the hit on the back right here. The ball gets jocked loose. It's loose on the ground. It's batted around. But Tremaine Mack, the big play man, he's the playmaker for the special teams of Miami and the defense of Miami. Picks the ball up, takes it down, runs it in for the touchdown. Miami up 14-0.
Mark, he said he would try to come up with a big play for us.
He's absolutely right. We asked him, I said, how about a punt block? He said, maybe. I said, how about an extra point block? He said, maybe, but I'm going to do something big, and he was right.
Already early, and there's the young man who fumbled the ball, and you saw the coaches on the sideline just as we went to the commercial talking to this 18-year-old true freshman, Thomas Jones, who had only 36 carries all year. He did score 3 TDs, so he's had a little bit of experience behind Tiki Barber, but his head was down on the fumble. The coaches said, what you have to do is get back in there. We need you. And you can see he's in on the kickoff return. However, it's coming down to Wilkins. Penalty marker is down. Out from the 8-yard line, Wilkins carves his way out to about the 26-yard line, but a penalty marker is down. We've spent a lot of time with our referee tonight. Offside's a call on Miami. Bill Goss. Here's Butch Davis, second-year head coach of Miami.
Offsides on the kicking team. Penalties decline. First down.
And we have a new quarterback for the Cavaliers, and he's had a lot of playing time this year. Aaron Brooks is his name, 6'3", 195. He's a sophomore from Newport News, Virginia. But both these quarterbacks have combined for only 47% completions and only 5 TDs all year long. A little more gifted athletically is Aaron Brooks. He can get outside the contain a little bit better sometimes than Tim Sherman. There's Thomas Jones in the backfield. Aaron Brooks to throw. Hard bounce, incomplete. Let's go back down to Craig Sager.
Tiki Barber is now up on his feet. He is still in severe pain, but good news, Dr. Frank McHugh says there is no serious damage, just a bruised pelvic bone, and he has cleared Barber to go back into the game whenever he feels he's ready.
Well, a bruised pelvic bone is usually a hip pointer, and I've had those in my NFL career. They're not a lot of fun. They're very, very painful, but you can play with them.
But Tiki may be being told he's ready to play, but you can see the suffering on his face right now. Tape an aspirin to it is what the old coaches would say. Second down and 10. Up the middle. Here comes Thomas Jones. To the 40-yard line of Miami. Marcus Wimberly finally chased Thomas Jones out of bounds, trying to make up for the fumble. 34 yards on the play. Look at his speed.
And that's the best tonic for a fumble, is come up with a big play, and this is what Thomas Jones does. They run a little draw. It's a lead draw. He gets excellent blocking by his offensive line. Here he's going to hit to the sidelines, take it down the sidelines. Here's the other angle. He goes to the sidelines and uses his speed to get to the outside. Excellent run by the freshman.
First down 10 at the 40-yard line. Miami leading in the game, 14-0. 3:31 to go, first period. Brooks rolling and throwing. It's complete for the first down at the 29-yard line of the Hurricanes. That's Jermaine Crowell making the 11-yard grab over the middle for the first down. A little slow to get up there. Is that Kenny Holmes?
Yes, Kenny Holmes is injured. What Virginia has to do is exactly what they did on that last play. Move the pocket. Have your quarterbacks run outside with the football and break contain. That's why they put Aaron Brooks in there. Aaron Brooks can move that pocket. He will be rolling and running with the football and throwing with it on the run.
Looking at the lower right leg of Kenny Holmes. 29 career sacks. Already had one here tonight and a couple of tackles. He's a senior from Gifford, Florida. We talked with him likewise. Very personable young man.
Usually when the trainers come out and grab you by the back of the calf and move your knee around, the first thing they're checking is your knee to see if it's stable. And he's a big, tough guy. We talked to him yesterday. He's a fun-loving type of player. He's looking forward to his next career at the next level, and I believe he'll be back.
As you see, he's third all-time at Miami. Daniel Stubbs, of course, leads the Miami sack parade. Let's hope that Kenny Holmes is all right. Already, Virginia has lost their left defensive end, John Harris, who was ejected from the ball game, and Tiki Barber has been hurt when he took a hip pointer on a tackle. While we have a moment, I want to remind you our NBA action continues on TNT next Friday. A rematch of last year's Eastern Conference Finals. The Orlando Magic at the United Center in Chicago. Chuck Daly and I will be up in the Windy City to bring you the action live from Chicago beginning at 8 Eastern Time. Bulls Magic next Friday. The NBA on Ted's Big Show. I like that. I'm sure Ted does too. Ted and Gerald's Big Show now. We'll make it politically correct. Huh?
There you go. Have to be nice to Time Warner. They're our partners now, our buddies.
1st and 10 at the 29-yard line of the Hurricanes. Miami leading by a score of 14-0. 3:17 to go, first period. Brooks is going deep into the end zone.
What a catch.
It's a touchdown.
What a catch.
What a grab by Jermaine Crowell. 29 yards. Remember, he is 6'4".
And that played to his advantage, his height. He concentrated on the ball. Great play action delivery by Aaron Brooks. Sits in the pocket, lobs the ball out there where only Jermaine Crowell could get it. He used his long arms and his reach to his advantage and hauls in a spectacular catch for the touchdown.
He's having a good early game, is Crowell, making those tough catches over the middle. 4 grabs, 60 yards, 1 touchdown. We have 3:08 to go in the first period. Rafael Garcia for the point after, and we have a 14-7 game. That's the first touchdown, the third touchdown, excuse me, for Virginia in the last 15 quarters. They've been on a touchdown drought.
Well, here's the replay of this play. Watch the play action fake. He fakes it to the freshman, Thomas Jones, sets back in the pocket, just lost the ball in the corner of the end zone where only his wide receiver. Look at the little push-off right there by Jermaine Crowell. He gets his hands on the ball, concentrates, hauls it in for the touchdown. Here you're going to see another angle. The play fake. Now watch the little push-off he's going to give. Right there. He pushes back off in the back, goes up for the ball. Excellent concentration by the wide receiver. That's a big-time play.
And Dwayne Starks is a big-time cornerback covering there with 3 interceptions on the year. But he's only 5'10".
But that's where height plays out. The 6'4" Jermaine Crowell, he used his height. And Aaron Brooks comes in, first series, look at him. He's a happy camper. He thinks he's got the starting quarterback position for the rest of the game, and he should. He's earned it.
Aaron Brooks, a relief pitcher who comes in and strikes out the side. Huh? He's only a sophomore at 6'3", 195. And that's only the second touchdown pass that he's thrown in his young career. He just had one in the regular season. On that drive, 74 yards, 4 plays, only 39 seconds. And it was Brooks to Crowell for the 29-yard touchdown. And we have ourselves a game. Again, it looked like the Hurricanes, who have been red hot offensively, co-Big East champions. They scored 81 points in their last 2 games, but Virginia pulls to within 14-7.
That's that never-give-up attitude. George Welsh, he learned it at the Naval Academy. He doesn't want his players to give up. And this is exactly what Virginia's doing. They're not giving up. They're staying in this football game.
You're looking at danger on the hook there, Tremaine Mack, but they kick it away from him. This is Marcus Wimberly. Penalty markers are down back inside the 20. So is Wimberly out at the 30-yard line. One of the goals for the Virginia special teams kicking and punting is to keep the ball away from Tremaine Mack, who is the nation's leading kickoff returner, averaging 39.5 yards per return.
I would think that would be an excellent idea. We talked to head coach George Welsh yesterday for the Virginia Cavaliers. He said we're either going to kick it very high or we're going to kick it away from him. On that play, they kicked it away from him. And I think it's very intelligent. When you've got a guy that can return him almost 40 yards, keep it away from him.
Penalty's 10 yards from the spot of the foul. First down.
That was a very big call back to the 10-yard line. That's where the Hurricanes will have it. First down 10, leading in the game 14-7, 3 minutes and 1 second. The clock ticking very slowly here. The ball has been in the air a lot, and there have been 4 turnovers already in the game and a multitude of penalties. Clement's numbers, 105 yards, 1 interception. Ronnie Barber picked him off, and 1 TD pass. Now they have handoff to Trent Jones, who wears number 6. Single-digit numbers are in vogue in college football now. Trent's a junior, 5'7".
All the players want those single-digit numbers. We talked to Edgar and James yesterday, and I said, why? And you asked him, why does he wear number 32? Is there any particular reason? He goes, no, I'd rather have number 3, 4, or 5, but somebody has those numbers. But when you look at this, Butch Davis, the head coach of the Miami Hurricanes, he revolves these running backs. He takes a different running back each time, possibly each series. They have to get something going. Right now, Darryl McMillan's not doing the job. 5 carries, -1 yard.
Double tight end, 2nd down, 4. Virginia's fired up after getting that touchdown. Trent Jones is stopped for no gain, possibly a loss on the play. Trent Jones, by the way, is a solid pass protector. He's also a good receiver out of the backfield. He is only 5'7", though, and has run for 329 yards on the year.
But the play that got the starter was the penetration by Travis Griffith. When the defense gets penetration, it's difficult for the offense to run the ball effectively. And what Virginia does is they penetrate, they attack. They attack every single down, and that's why George Welch says this is the best defense he's had.
We have a Miami timeout. Ryan Clement making the call with 1:48 to go in the first period. As you look at Butch Davis, assistant with the Dallas Cowboys, Jimmy Johnson proponent, would you say, Mark?
Oh, without a doubt. And we talked about that, and he's got 2 world championship rings, and he's got a University of Miami NCAA championship. And this guy's a winner. He's a definite winner. He's proved it in the past, and he's got the influence of Jimmy Johnson. He was with him at Oklahoma State, University of Miami, the Dallas Cowboys, and you can see that the way he prepares his team. They're very aggressive, and they love to play special teams.
He's on the wish list of a lot of NFL teams who are firing coaches left and right, and I got a great kick out of his response in front of his quarterback yesterday when you and I met with him, and you said, I want to ask you, last question, are you going to the NFL? He said,
no. Without a doubt.
He was clear, wasn't he?
But I'm pretty sure if Ryan Clement wasn't in the room, he would have gotten a different answer.
By the way, join TBS for more football action Saturday, January 18th. You'll be seeing some of these players in there. That's the College Classic, the Senior Bowl, bringing together a field of college all-stars. The Senior Bowl pits North against South at historic Glad Memorial Stadium. Pat Hayden and Vern Lundquist will bring you that action live from Mobile, Alabama, beginning at 2 p.m. College football continues with the Senior Bowl Saturday, January 18th, right here on TBS. 3rd and 5, Miami from their 15. Penalty marker down. Free play again. Resulted in a touchdown last time. This is Gator at the 50. Has to beat Poindexter, who got some help, and they collar him around the 40. Wally Rainer came down and got him. But a gain of 45. It looked like deja vu on the free play on the offside that got them the 70-yard touchdown to open this ballgame.
Deja vu all over again, and Virginia has to concentrate. They can't relax when there's a penalty. Sometimes defenders relax.
Offside, defense. English decline, 1st down.
You take a free shot. When the defense jumps off sides, throw the ball deep. That's what Ryan Clement does. He gets excellent pass protection from his offensive line, sets in the pocket, steps up, and throws the ball downfield to Tony Gator. And Tony Gator, what does he do? Makes a run after the catch. That's what all these great Miami wide receivers do.
Yeah, I know he's happy here at Miami, the Hurricanes, but just think what kind of marketing career he could have up in Gainesville in Florida. 1st down, 10 from the 40. Hurricanes. Hand off to Trent Jones, who tries the middle. The ball came loose down there. It's picked up by Virginia. And their number 3 comes up with a big play. That's Anthony Poindexter, all ACC. Oh, my. He led all ACC defensive backs in tackles and big plays, and that's 5 turnovers in this first quarter. 3 for Miami, 2 for Virginia.
This is a game marred by turnovers, but it's number 3 on both sides of the ball. Poindexter says, hey, Tremaine Mack comes up with a big play, I can come up with a big play. And he's Johnny on the spot. You're going to see the ball being knocked loose right here in this replay. Here it is. It gets knocked loose, jarred loose, and everybody's going after the ball. But number 3, Anthony Poindexter, he's the one that scoops it up.
Cavaliers 1st and 10 at their own 48-yard line. Aaron Brooks just coming off a touchdown pass back in behind center. No, Tim Sherman is back in the game. Go figure. And the handoff goes to about the 48-yard line. Tim Sherman, you know, I was virtually certain that Aaron Brooks would stay in the ball game, but when we talked when we talked to George Welch, he said, you know, you'll see me shift these fellas back and forth as you look at Tom Sherman. Tim's dead.
Yeah, and that probably helps in the decision putting him back in there because he makes better decisions on the line of scrimmage. He can audible out there, and that's why George Welch likes him out there.
2nd and 5 from the Miami 47-yard line. Out to the left side, Thomas Jones couldn't hold on to it. You know, 5 turnovers already. This has been a wacky. Oh, well, there's the answer.
Right there, a full moon.
It's nearly a full moon. It's enough to count, I think.
I would think so. That's the only reason why we got 5 turnovers tonight.
Moon over the South Florida. Sort of Miami, Fort Lauderdale. There's the turnover story. 3 for the Hurricanes, 2 for Virginia. 35 seconds to go in the first period. This will be 3rd down 5 for the Cavaliers. Thomas Jones. We got about 3 inside the 45 to about the 44-yard line. James Burgess, all Big East middle linebacker, 2nd leading tackler for the Hurricanes, steps up to make the play in the middle. Number 54, Burgess, senior from Homestead, Florida. You and I almost went to Homestead on our way to the stadium yesterday.
We got just a little bit lost coming to the stadium yesterday.
And the Cavaliers can't convert Will Bryce into punt again with 4 seconds, 3 seconds, and the clock counting down. He's going to get it away before the period comes to an end. The left footer. Look at the hang time. Into the end zone. It'll be a touchback, and that'll be the final play of the first quarter. It has been wild and woolly, but who's complaining? It's a bowl game. It's the holiday season. It's South Florida. 14-7, Miami.
After 1 quarter of the Carquest Bowl, Miami on top of Virginia right now by a score of 14-7. 3 bowl games on the day. It all started with the Liberty Bowl in Memphis, where Syracuse, co-champions in the Big East, took on the Houston Cougars. And there is Houston coach Kim Helton. He was the conference coach of the year. Second play from scrimmage, though, the play action option, and Donovan McNabb to Malcolm Thomas. And Thomas goes 58 yards. This just the second play of the game down to the 10-yard line, where 2 plays later, McNabb keeps it himself, goes in. It was 7-0. Syracuse racked up 233 yards rushing in the first half alone. But the Cougars come back. Chuck Clements to his tailback, Antoine Smith, who makes a great catch in the back of the end zone, tying it at 7 after a Syracuse touchdown. Houston snaps the ball over the head of the punter. It's a safety for Syracuse. But just before the half, Houston comes back. Antoine Smith gets the touchdown. It's 16-14. Second half, all Syracuse. Malcolm Thomas goes across the goal line. Earlier, he had carried for 50 yards on a play to set up the touchdown. Coach B for Syracuse, now 4-0 in bowl games, and there was the final. After 1 quarter here, it is 14-7. Let's go now back to Bob Neal and Mark May.
Thanks, Craig. Syracuse, Mark, the players weren't exactly thrilled to be in that after that loss to Miami.
No, they weren't. As a matter of fact, the seniors voted not to even accept the bowl invitation at all and just stay home for the holidays.
Miami running the ball. They have only a net 2 yards rushing going into this period. They got a little more that time with Trent Jones. So we have 2 number 6s running in the backfield now. Trent Jones for Miami and Thomas Jones for Virginia.
The Jones gang. That's,
yes,
like you said, it's in vogue. You've got to have those single-digit numbers. But what I'm looking forward to is Edgar and James. When he gets in the game, he's special.
There's Trent. 5'7", 184 pounds, 4 TDs. Ties for the team lead. This is 2nd down 2 at the Miami 28-yard line. Hurricanes leading in the game, 14-7. Clement hands it off to Jones again. Nice cut off a good block. Gets it out near the 30-yard line. Has to cross the 30 for the first down.
And that block was made by Rick Perry. He's their Havlicek. We used to have a guy with the Redskins, Riley McKenzie. He was our 6th guy. We call him the Havlicek Hog. Well, Rick Perry's the Havlicek Hog for this offensive line. He can play center. He can play both guards and both tackles. He's in the game right now. He just provided the block for the running back, Trent Jones, to pick up the first down.
They gave him the first down. Yeah, it's a 6'6", 345-pound tackle. There's number 73. He was suspended the first 4 games on some disciplinary measures by Butch Davis, who has been really ruling with an iron fist since he took over the program at the University of Miami last year.
And he didn't miss pregame at 3:45.
I guess
Dead
not.
ball start on the offensive line, 5-yard penalty.
Move Miami back. And speaking of the troubles, they're well documented at Miami. Butch Davis came in and wanted to establish discipline, wanted to get academics back, wanted to change the image, the perception of this Miami football team. He suspended their leading receiver, who had an assault charge against him prior to this season, for the entire season, Jamie German. And since then, there have been 12 players suspended for a game or more for disciplinary reasons. Under pressure, Clement goes down. It's got to be a linebacker, sure. James Ferrier.
You betcha. James Ferrier was very smart on this play. He had contain on this. He stayed at home. He didn't go for any of the fakes. Here you're going to watch him in the reverse angle. Here he is blitzing upfield. He stays in contain where he's coached to stay. He watches the ball, and he gets the sack on quarterback Ryan Clement.
Ferrier, the senior from Ettrick, Virginia. He's listed, by the way, as about the 7th-ranked linebacker in Lindy's NFL draft preview, and that could be a first-rounder, possibly.
I think it will. I think linebackers are deep this year in the NFL draft. He's got an opportunity to go first.
14-yard loss. Clement, though, has a man open but overthrows him out near midfield, going for Tony Gator, their fastest wide receiver. You see that sometimes when you're backed up that far, and that is backed up 3rd and 30.
And this time they won it Rondé Barber, and that's probably a mistake because he's the best cover guy that Virginia has. And lately he's been picking on Joe Williams. I'm surprised he won it Rondé on that play.
Rondé, as we talked with him yesterday, as we did Tiki, and by the way, we'll continue to update you on Tiki, who has the bruised hip, the hip pointer from a tackle made earlier, and hasn't returned to action since then. We talked to Rondé, and we says, what are you thinking about? He said, I'm thinking about Tony Gator and Yatil Green.
And that's all he has to think about, because he knows those wide receivers from Miami have tremendous speed, and they can get downfield in a hurry.
3rd and 30 from the Miami 11. Clement, a lot of time, safety valve. He goes to Jones. About 6 or 7 yards, but only out to the 17-yard line, where Ferrier is over there to make the tackle.
And Clement got excellent protection from his offensive line. He was able to look to his 3rd receiver, the outlet valve, was running back Trent Jones out of the backfield. And the guys up front are starting to do the job for the Miami Hurricanes. They're starting to give the quarterback some time to throw the ball, and they're moving the ball on the ground.
Here's Andy Crossland, a redshirt freshman from Dallas, Texas, who kicks and punts for Miami. But Butch Davis says he's looking for a punter, as Crossland is primarily a kicker. And not a very good punt that time. Right at midfield, and Thomas Jones makes the catch there. And the Cats have good field position, trailing 14-7 with 12:01 to go in the first half. A punt of only 33 yards. Miami up 14-7, 12 minutes to go in the first half. Craig, you're standing down on the field with a lot of athletic-looking young men who also seem to have kind of a cocky attitude.
Well, you know, Bob, these two teams both played Virginia Tech, and they both lost to Virginia Tech. Virginia Tech just arrived. They are standing behind me right now. As you can see, they may be from the state of Virginia, but their signs say "Go Canes." That is because they are rooting for the Big East. Virginia Tech, with a record of 10-1, takes on Nebraska with a record of 10-2. New Year's Eve in the Orange Bowl. Now, the granddaddy of them all is the Rose Bowl, but the Orange Bowl in Miami is a tradition that started back with a festival in 1933. Then they started playing the Orange Bowl in 1935. However, for the very first time, the Orange Bowl and Miami are not synonymous. It's going to be played here in this stadium for the first time. So Virginia Tech not only here to root for Miami, to see some of their friends from Virginia, but also to see the stadium. Bye.
Mark, you and I got a look at them looking at the tape of Virginia's final game, and others too. But Virginia Tech is a very solid and potentially explosive football team. Here's a play fake. The attempted pass is dropped by Walt Derry. Tim Sherman threw it a little low. Derry, not known for his catches on the season, only 10 receptions in 11 games.
And it's even early in the game, but sometimes you sit here and you watch a game and you have to wonder, Bob, why isn't Aaron Brooks in this game? I mean, he did a tremendous job in the series he was in there, threw for a great touchdown reception to Jermaine Crowell. How come they took him out of this football game? He's the hot hand, the hot quarterback. Stay with the hot guy.
You know, you would expect this to be controversial. Tim Sherman, the son of receivers coach Tom Sherman. There are those who think he has favoritism. Welch completely denies it. Of course, knowing George Welch's reputation, I don't think there would be any. Here is the handoff to Thomas Jones. Remember, he coughed it up to Tremaine Mack, who returned it for a 79-yard touchdown to give Miami their 14 points, their second touchdown. He replaced Tiki Barber when he injured his hip. You see Holmes made the tackle. There's Tiki. And, you know, he looks like he's in less pain. Maybe they did tape an aspirin to his hip.
Possibly 2 or 3. Hip pointers are quite painful. I couldn't walk for 2 days after I had my first one.
This is 3rd and 9 from the Miami 49-yard line. 2 receivers to the left, 1 to the right side. This is Owen in motion. Sherman misses him badly. You know, talk about a quarterback controversy. I mean, you've got to wonder. I think you raised an excellent point. Aaron Brooks, who came in and threw the touchdown pass, not in the ballgame. Now,
there's an unhappy camper right there. That's Tim Sherman's father, Tom. And the wide receiver did slip on that play, but I think we're going to see Aaron Brooks come back in this game. He's got the hot hand. He's got to be back in there. Anybody that can put points on the board and any scoring drive in any capacity should be playing football and should be on the football field.
Bryce for his 4th punt of the day. He can hammer it. Remember, Bryce was an All-American last year. He fell off a little bit this year, but was still All-ACC. That's going to be downed as it took a Miami bounce just outside the 20. Only a 28-yard punt after we were bragging about Will Bryce.
Everybody on the Virginia offense, they're looking here on punt protection, looking for Tremaine Mack. But the other guy gets through and almost blocks it.
Pass is thrown for 40 yards and a TD. Sherman only 20 yards. Craig, what's going on with the quarterbacks?
Well, there really is not a controversy. Tim Sherman came out of the game not because of ineffectiveness. Coach Welsh said he came out because he had a sore shoulder. And then Aaron Brooks came in, and while he did have the hot hand, after Sherman was worked on by the trainers and cleared to go back in, he got his starting job back. He is not going to lose his starting job because of the injury. So although Brooks was very effective, he was just in there as an injury replacement. As for injuries, Tiki Barber says his hip or sore pelvic bone is getting better. He still hasn't decided whether he's going to go in or not, but it looks to me like we will see him at least in the second half.
Mark, does a player like Tiki Barber in a bowl game, his last college football game, think about the NFL and think maybe I don't want to take a chance?
You betcha. That's definitely in the back of his mind, but still wearing those colors for the University of Virginia and the Commonwealth of Virginia, he wants to go back and play because he doesn't want to let his teammates down.
Miami trying to get something going on the ground, and here's that freshman, the true freshman Edgerrin James, in only 18 years old, and he gets his first carry of the night. Here's the story on Edgerrin James. He's 6'1", 220 pounds, averages 6.5 yards a carry, and the coaches talk about vision when they talk about Edgerrin James.
And he's got great vision, particularly the way that he runs the football. He's a high stepper, and you'll watch him run. He runs so fluidly, it looks like he's not even moving. And when you see backs do that, they're gobbling up big chunks of yardage, and this kid does the same thing.
The I slot left formation for the Hurricanes. Prior to that carry, the Hurricanes had only a -1 yard rushing total up to the game. James comes in and already gets them up to around 10. Once again, an encounter on the field. There's K.C. Jones. A lot of people consider him the best college center in the nation this year.
Not only that, K.C. Jones is smart. He's an offensive lineman. If you're going to give a guy a couple of shots, you give him a couple of shots and walk away, because when he retaliates and hits you in the back, that's when they throw the penalty.
Who started the myth that the smartest players are offensive linemen?
I did, of course. No, but it had to be from an offensive lineman without a doubt. But on this offense, the guys that call the signals are 1, K.C. Jones, and 2, Ryan Clement. They call the audibles. They talk to each other and talk to the rest of the linemen.
This is 3rd down and 1 at the Miami 30. Jumbo formation. Penalty marker is down. Looked like the freshman tight end, who was the extra tight end in there to block, Mondrell Fulcher, may have moved. If so, it'll bring up 3rd and 6. Clement got the first down. There's the call against the Hurricanes. Butch Davis, intensity, capital I.
Capital I. When I met him yesterday, I was very impressed when I talked to him.
On the offense, on the offensive line. It's a 5-yard penalty. Repeat 3rd down.
And just talking to him, you could tell it in his eyes that he's intense, and you can tell when a guy's been there, you know it when you see him. You can see it in his eyes. And, you know, he was a great guy. He's a great competitor. When we interviewed him and talked to him, you could just see him getting excited about his players, excited about the program at Miami. He's very proud of the accomplishments he's made.
I asked him if I could return punts today. I got so excited. Declined. 3rd down, 6, 3 wideouts in for the Hurricanes from their own 25. Clement. the middle. It's caught by Chris Jones. Out to the 48. Poindexter makes the tackle. Gain of 23. We're talking about Casey Jones, their tremendous center.
Here he is right here. Watch Casey Jones, the center. He's going to help out. Watch the hand placement right there, right in between the numbers, right at the end. Keep an eye on him. He'll come across and clean it up. Throw guys on the ground. You got to like that about an offensive lineman. When you put a defensive lineman down, hey, that's a plus. Doesn't matter if he trips or stumbles. If you throw him on the ground, it's a plus.
Mark, by NFL standards, he's a small center, 6'1", 265.
But he's in the image and the size of Mark Stepnowski, a perennial Pro Bowl in the NFL. He's perfect size for Stepnowski.
Enough said. 1st and 10 from the 47. Running it over to the right side. Andrew James, the rookie, goes down. Maybe a gain of a yard. James Ferrier came up to meet the 18-year-old. Ferrier looks like a warrior. I keep wanting to call him James Warrior.
Well, we found out from the beginning of the game, he was right out there in the middle of that skirmish with Miami. He wasn't going to let his players get injured out there in the middle of a fight. He wanted to get in the middle of it and break it up. And he was throwing a couple shots in there. But when you look at Ferrier, he's been all over the field. I mean, this guy's at the top of the list of the NFL scouts. We said that. But he's a real competitor. He likes to stick his nose in there and hit people and track them down. And he's got the speed and the agility to do it.
Out of the eye now. 2nd down 9. Play fake. Clements under pressure. Gets rid of it. 1st down at the 40-yard line. And that's Magic Benton, a sophomore from Miami, Florida, gain of 12 yards. And you say, Magic Benton, was he named after Magic Johnson?
I don't think so.
How about being named after, as you look at the pressure, we'll tell you where his name came from, but watch this pressure from Jamie Sharper, number 33.
Watch him. He'll hurdle the fullback and go over top of him and put pressure on Clements, but just a little bit too late. But Virginia's getting closer and closer, and you're going to watch Magic Benton. He just runs a little curl pattern. He hooks right there, turns around, and catches the ball.
Let's call him Magic City Grill Benton. And we'll come back and tell you why. Out of the eye on the 1st and 10 from the 40. Here's Edgerrin James. You see he's a star in the making at Miami. The 18-year-old gets 9 years. Back to Magic Benton. Named Magic because his dad loves a place called the Magic City Grill. And he wanted to call him Magic City. And his mom says, no, that's too much, but Magic's okay. What do you think of that?
Well, I'm sure glad his dad didn't hang out at Hooters.
Nice name. 2nd down and 2 for Magic. Number 8, Magic Benton. Started the first 3 games, had 100 yards in each of those games, but kind of got in the doghouse. The coach here. Here's an inside handoff for the 1st down run. That's to Carlo Joseph, the fullback who trades time with Nick Williams. James, though, 4 carries, 18 yards. In Miami, when he came into the game, Miami had 13 carries with -1 yard rushing. And it's really turned around.
And that's why you've got to have a guy with his explosiveness in the ball game, because he can break one. But the great thing about it is he can run between the tackles and move the pile, because an arm tackle will not break him down.
He's listed at 6'1", 220. I'll swear he doesn't look that big. We saw him in his T-shirt and shorts yesterday. On the 1st down 10. Out of the eye, play fake. Clements under pressure. There's his man at the 7-yard line. It's Tony Gator. 23-yard completion. Oh, you like the fire in Ryan Clement. He's another in a long line from quarterback you.
And that's the one thing George Welsh, the head coach of Virginia, and Rick Lance, the defensive coordinator, were worried about. Clement's ability to scramble in the pocket, to move the pocket, and to throw on the run. Here he'll run to his right. He'll still look downfield. He'll concentrate on throwing the ball. Jumps and throws a jump pass and completes it downfield. He's done this time and time again this season. Here it is. Look at the defensive back slip. We talk about the field being wet. They need to get tighter on the wide receivers, but that's not the fault of Rondé Barber. That's the fault of the field.
1st and goal at the 6. Here's Edgerrin James. Slipped, fell forward. Got to about the 1-yard line. Clement has been on fire. 11 of 14, 212 yards in the air for Ryan Clement. And, of course, that began with the 70-yard touchdown to Yatil Green. But this man has turned around the ground game for Miami since he entered the game.
They needed a spark, and they got it from him. But when you look at Ryan Clement in this offense, we talked to Butch Davis about it. This is a little bit Dallas Cowboy, a little bit Green Bay Packer, a little bit Washington Redskin. It's a very diversified offense. They like to spread the ball around. They've got 11 receivers and double-digit receiving.
2nd and goal from the 1. James and Williams in the backfield. James. Look at the pursuit. 5 blue jerseys. Throw the 18-year-old freshman for a loss back to the 3-yard line. And you see Stephen Phelan. What a story. A walk-on at Virginia, and he walked his way into a starting safety spot.
And when you look at this play, this is a freshman mistake. Watch James. He should take the ball and head straight ahead. He's trying to make something out of nothing, but the pursuit and the quickness of the Virginia Cavaliers catches up with him. Here he should take the ball and go straight ahead, but he doesn't. He tries to make something out of nothing and get to the edge, but too many Virginia defenders are there.
Yeah, now it's going to be 3rd down goal back from the 3-yard line, and Ryan Clement makes his 2nd timeout call of this game with 4:44 to go in the half. Miami leading by a touchdown. Miami up by a touchdown, threatening again at 3rd and goal from the 3. Look at the beautiful view of Pro Players Stadium here in South Florida. The Blockbuster blimp is known to be one of the fastest blimps flying. It's been clocked at speeds exceeding 70 miles an hour, and we look forward to seeing the Blockbuster blimp at future events here on TBS. Russell Maryland, which one is he now?
He's the guy with the big ring right here, the big rock on his hand. That's Russell.
What's up?
That's the size of players you had to play against in your NFL career, and the talent.
Unfortunately, 13 years of it. I feel it every day.
You were up here stretching your back. You can't sit there long. I understand how that is. My throat has that same kind of wear and tear. 3rd and goal at the Virginia 3. Miami leading 14-7. Tyrell McMillan in the backfield now as they stagger and spread the backs. And the tight end goes in motion. Quick toss into the end zone, broken up. You could hear the pop from up here. And Yatil Green is slow getting up. He took a whammy of a pop from Sam McKeever and the most ferocious hitter on the Virginia secondary, Anthony Poindexter. You can see Green. He's hurting just like you were talking about, Mark.
Absolutely. When you watch this play, the Virginia defense smells this. It's going to be a quick slant right here. They're right on top of it. And he may have had a little hold on there, Sam McKeever, but the little guys make big collisions. Watch number 3, Anthony Poindexter. Wham! Right there. Big collision.
Did he get there early?
Just a wee bit. Hey, if you ain't cheating, you ain't trying. He didn't get caught.
Crossland in. He has missed 4 of his last 6 field goal attempts. This one's only from 20 yards, but it is from the far left side hash mark. Crossland knocks it through. And it is 17-7. The Hurricanes take a 10-point lead with 4 minutes and 36 seconds remaining in the first half from Pro Players Stadium in the 7th annual Carquest Bowl.
It is now 17-7. Miami leading Virginia. With me, the former offensive coordinator, Tom O'Brien for Virginia. 21 years an assistant with George Welsh at Navy and then at Virginia. Now the head coach at BC. Why the opportunity now to leave this program and be a head coach?
Well, I think it got to the point where George is going to coach forever, and it's about time that I moved on somewhere else. And great opportunity to Boston College, and I look forward to being a head coach there.
Being the offensive coordinator, what has surprised you or maybe disappointed you with Virginia's offense so far?
Oh, I don't know. I've divorced myself from Virginia. I'm just sitting in the stands watching and enjoying myself.
We're going to go back up to the booth right now with Bob and Mark, but stay here. We got a couple more questions. Let's go back to Bob.
Do we believe that, Mark?
Heck no. I've never seen a coach able to divorce himself from a football game.
By the way, Craig, ask him if he's heard about the tradition at Boston College of the eagle tattoo on the posterior section of the anatomy for some of the players. I wonder if he'll have to join in that tradition.
I've heard rumors that players are taking a collection for the coach.
At the 10-yard line, Terrence Wilkins out to the 26-yard line, back to Craig Sager.
Well, we do a lot of NBA games. Del Harris tried to get in with his players, the Lakers, by getting a tattoo. Bob Neal wants to know if you want to follow up with that BC tradition and have your rear tattooed like the players at BC.
Well, I'll have to check the players out first to make sure that's a tradition, and then I'll have to think about it.
We talked to you before. You've had a lot of opportunities. In fact, before Gary Barnett turned Northwestern's program around, you had an interview up there. Why didn't you take the Northwestern job?
Because you were a graduate, and I like BC guys better. No.
But obviously, BC has a little bit of a tradition. Can you turn that one around?
I believe so. I don't think it's that far from being an excellent program. They had a couple down years, but it's, 3 years ago they were in a bowl, so it's a great opportunity. I think we can get it turned around and get back to a bowl.
I wish you the best of luck. Let's go back to Bob.
Looks like Wilkins, thanks, Craig. Looks like Terrence Wilkins was shaken up on that play. You see him here, shaken up, so maybe putting it mildly, on the kickoff return. Sophomore from Alexandria.
Here's the replay, and this is a very hard-hitting game. It started off at the beginning of the game, even before they took the field, before the kickoff. And look at the hits here. He took a hit to the helmet. You can see he's probably knocked a little bit woozy, and when that happens, he'll be back in the game. But you can see he's trying to clear his eyes. When you're knocked out like that, your vision isn't very clear. Not that I've been knocked out like that, but that's what they tell me.
Miami leading at 17-7. Tough out pass out to the left side. One of the hardest throws to make in football at this level. Brian Owen catches the ball thrown by Tim Sherman. That's a dangerous pass. There's Brian Owen. He's a junior. How about this? Brian Owen. Virginia has all kinds of stories like this throughout their history. They just have never been this good before in their history. This is a former walk-on kicker, but they found out he runs a 4.6 40.
When you find guys with that athletic ability, especially a kicker, he should be playing someplace else. Not to get on kickers, but especially a kicker.
2nd down, 3. Yeah, it's close to the first down. Daryl Medley, the fullback, he's a senior who can play tailback some. As you see the cut on Daryl Medley there, 6'2", 235. That's a pro-size running back body.
It definitely is, and he's a great blocking fullback. That's why he's in there. He's Tiki Barber's best friend besides the offensive line.
Speaking of Tiki, with his helmet back, he's up close to the sideline, maybe edging back in. He had 4 carries for only 7 yards before he got the hip pointer. We don't know if he'll return to this game or not. This is 1st and 10 from the 36. The play fake. Dropped by Medley. Wearing 34, Walter Payton's number. He should catch that.
It's those type of plays that drive you crazy. I mean, the ball hits you right in the chest. That's why he's only had 2 receptions this year. He's not a great pass receiver, but the ball hits him right in the numbers. He's supposed to catch that ball. And plus, he heard the footsteps of Tremaine Mack. If anybody hears those footsteps, you've got to get out of the way. You know the hit's coming.
Tremaine just couldn't not hit it.
He had to. It's in his blood. It's in his system. It's like the Scorpion joke. It's in his system.
2nd and 10 from the 36-yard line. They give it to Daryl Medley again, who's now playing at the tailback spot. They told us that he could be playing some at that position because Tiki Barber's hurt. Thomas Jones had come in and fumbled the ball, has been playing tentatively, actually, the true freshman. There's a look at Wilkins, who was shaken up on the kick return.
After Thomas Jones ripped off that long run, I'm surprised we're not seeing more of him. Even though he's a freshman, he's played well. He's fumbled the ball one time at Carquest, Virginia, but he's also kept them in the game with that big run.
3rd and 6 from the 40. Sherman. That's picked off by Tremaine Mack. Kiss him goodbye. We told you to watch Tremaine Mack and his propensity for big plays. A fumble recovery that he took 79 yards for a TD, and now the interception, 42 yards, and it's 23-7.
And keep an eye on Tremaine Mack. He's watching the wide receiver, Jermaine Crowell, and he's watching the quarterback. The quarterback doesn't look anything off. He knows the route before Jermaine Crowell knows it. He breaks on the ball, an excellent break on the ball, snatches it in and takes it in for his 2nd touchdown of the evening.
Big plays, the story of this game. 2:34 to go in the half. 70-yard touchdown pass. There's the point after. A 79-yard fumble recovery touchdown and a 42-yard interception touchdown. And those are the 3 Miami touchdown scores. Here's another look at Mr. Tremaine Mack from Tyler, Texas.
Watch the quarterback, Tim Sherman. He's not even looking off. He throws it right out there. Tremaine Mack keeps an eye on it, intercepts it, and he's yelling on the sidelines. He wants one more interception for number 3.
Tremaine Mack having himself a happy night. Fumble return for 70-yard TD. Interception return, 42 yards, touchdown. He had a 95-yard touchdown return previously. Listen to these Hurricane fans. George Gaitan with a kickoff, the line drive. Comes up to the up back, out to the 30, out to the 35, and the 40. That is number 9, Shannon Taylor, all the way to the 17-yard line. Shannon Taylor, the backup linebacker, who is a redshirt freshman, took it 58 yards.
I'll tell you what, he's a backup linebacker as a freshman. Since the injury of Tiki Barber, maybe they should move him to running back. Watch him here. He's making some great moves with the football. This is an exciting football game we've had. Big hits, turnovers, interceptions for touchdowns, and returns like this. What more can you ask for from a bowl game?
Shannon Taylor, who's played very little this year, really, but in the small playing time has an interception and 2 sacks and was ACC Rookie of the Week versus Duke. Cavaliers down 24-7. They're going back to Thomas Jones. About 3 to about the 17-yard line. Kenny Holmes, who's back in there. Remember, he was shaken up earlier. Number 90. 54 you see there is James Burgess. But take a look, Mark, at Butch Davis.
Watch, he's upset because he coaches special teams. He emphasizes special teams, and he can't believe that Virginia got a return against his special teams. He's got a rule. Every starter has to be on at least one special team.
This will be 2nd down 8 from the 18-yard line. Split backs for the Cavaliers. Sherman hands it to Jones. Quick acceleration down near the 12-yard line. Line to make for the first down is at the 10. This would be a very big score if Virginia can get it in here. Remember, they went 14 quarters with only 2 touchdowns as they closed out the season.
And this is a confidence builder. With less than a minute and 30 left, they've got to punch this in to stay in this ball game. If they can't get 7 here, it's going to be a downer for Virginia going in the locker room and uplifting for Miami, because they're going to be able to hold them inside the red area.
Yeah, the red zone has not been their friend. 3rd down 2. They give it to the youngster. He doesn't get it. He loses yardage. If anything, Thomas Jones hit first by Tony Coley. Coley, number 47, and you see James Burgess getting off the play too. Coley's their strong side linebacker. Burgess plays in the middle. Twan Russell on the other side, and they're very balanced defensively with that linebacking core.
They definitely are, but with Virginia, this is a situation where they missed the experience of Tiki Barber in here. Tiki Barber's been their best player in the red area. But watch Coley right here, the right end. He's going to get the penetration and stop this play. He's got to beat the block of the fullback, then he's got to get penetration, and he's in on the tackle. That's great play by the outside linebacker, Coley.
Virginia 0 of 6 on 3rd downs. This is 4th down and 2. And Tim Sherman says, give me the timeout, coach. We have 27 seconds to go in the half. Miami up 24-7. George Welch talking to his senior quarterback, Tim Sherman. Sherman has run, I'm not sure this is where they would use that, but he has run it into the end zone 3 times, and he's rushed for over 250 yards this year, so Sherman can make a run there.
He definitely can. And when you look at the quarterbacks for Virginia, both of them can run. And George Welch doesn't have a top passing quarterback. These guys like to break contain, roll out with the football, and run with the football. So we may see Tim Sherman run with the football. And as I said before, this is an area where you miss Tiki Barber. He's the guy who was the biggest weapon for Virginia in the red area. Here he is right here. They wish he was on the football field, because once they got inside the 20, the first 8 games, he was the weapon that got him in the goal line. The last 3 games, they haven't been able to break pay dirt because he hasn't been able to score touchdowns for him on the ground.
I like it. The Barbers of Seville. That's not only Tiki of Charlottesville, of course, not only Tiki and Rondé, but their mom, who's a story of herself. And we're going to take a look at the year ahead for Turner Sports. We have a wonderful, exciting year of sports television coming your way on the Turner Broadcasting Systems. This is 4th and a long 2 at the Miami 12 after the timeout. 27 seconds to go in the half. Sherman had his man wide open. There was some kind of mix-up because he didn't get the ball to Crowell. Crowell was there, could have caught it, would have been a first down. They didn't connect.
Miscommunication, and they took a timeout to discuss this play. And here's his father, Tom. He's a little upset by that because 1, Crowell was wide open for the first down, and 2, the quarterback, Tim Sherman, didn't throw it there. They weren't on the same page. He thought he was going out, and the wide receiver ran it in, and that's why this was not completed for the first down. Here you're going to see the wide receiver. He's wide open right there, and he's wondering where the ball is just thrown way behind him.
Sherman only 3 of 10 for 27 yards and 1 interception. See him talking on the phone maybe to his dad. There's Aaron Brooks, who came in, went 2 of 4 for 40 yards and a touchdown, and we haven't seen him again.
And I just saw George Welch, the head coach, turn and nod to him, and he nodded back, so it looks like he may start the second half.
20 seconds to go in the half, and Miami is just going to take a knee here and let this clock run out. The Hurricanes, they were kind of a stiff wind for much of the season, but the gusts are picking up here. 24-7, Miami leading at halftime of the 7th annual Carquest Bowl. Craig Sager with Butch Davis.
Well, we only got 18 minutes.
First of all, Coach, a first half marked by a lot of big plays and a lot of turnovers. Why? Is it the fact that it's a bowl game and you haven't had a lot of work, a little rusty?
Well, I think sometimes that's part of it. I think certainly some of the big plays that we've created is because we got guys that are playmakers. Tremaine Mack and some of the guys have created some of those big plays. By the same token, Virginia's got guys. Their linebackers hit our quarterback, caused a fumble. I mean, they got people that can make plays also.
Obviously, you have to be pleased with the score and the lead. Anything you'll do differently in the second half, though?
No, not really. Protect the ball a little bit better. I was a little disappointed with the way in which we ran the ball. Well, I think we've certainly got to be able to run the ball and keep the heat off of the quarterback, and we've got to take advantage of it. We had some great opportunities that we didn't score that we've got to capitalize on.
Mark May said all the emphasis you put on specialty teams. Obviously, you weren't happy when they ran that one back, but at least they didn't get the touchdown.
Yeah, you know, our defense has played fantastic this first half. They've given us all these opportunities. We just got to duplicate it the second half.
All right, thanks a lot for talking to us. We'll talk with George Welch later as he comes out of the locker room. Also be talking to the Barber twins, the Barbers of Seville, Tiki Barber and his All-American brother, Rondé Barber. We'll have that, but right now it's 24-7, halftime of the Carquest Bowl. Miami on top of Virginia.
Miami Hurricanes leading 24-7. That means George Welch can't be very happy. Earlier, Craig Sager talked to him just moments ago.
Well, Coach, Mark May mentioned how it's difficult for you to put points on the board without Tiki Barber in the backfield. What's the injury status on him?
Well, he's going to give it a try sometime in the second half. He was about, I was told he's about 7. When he was running on the sideline, he's about 7/8 speed.
Aaron Brooks did a good job when he went in there first. We're going to see him in the second half?
Yeah, we are going to play Aaron Brooks, no question now. I don't know if I'm going to start him or not yet, but I'm going to play him certainly.
All right, thanks a lot for being with us. Let's go back now to Bob Deal and Mark May.
Okay, Mark, well, we were talking about the fact that we would see Aaron Brooks probably. Look at the first half stats there. Miami has passed for 212. Of course, one of those is a 70-yard touchdown. Virginia only 67. Tim Sherman, 3 of 10 for only 27 yards and 1 interception. The other 40 came from Aaron Brooks, who threw it 2 times for 4 times. You see the 0 for 6 for third down conversions, and make it 0 for 7 if you want to throw in the 4th down conversion when Sherman missed his receiver, Jermaine Crowell. And we're ready to start the second half here. Virginia did win the toss and elected to defer, so they're going to have the ball.
I think that's a good idea for Virginia. They want to try to keep the ball out of the hands of Tremaine Mack. They're kicking it off to him, but you're going to see a high kick or they're going to kick it away from him. I think that's the only way that they can prevent him from the big returns.
Yeah, Miami, I should have said, Miami won the toss and deferred. They are going to get it back, leading 24-7. Here is the kickoff. It's a good one, angling it away once again from Mack. And Marcus Wimberly made what probably and is a bad decision.
Smart play by Virginia, though. They kept it low, kicked it away from Tremaine Mack. He's already had 2 big plays in the first half. They don't want to make it 3 on a kickoff return.
There's Wimberly. He was knocked down at about the 11-yard line. And out comes Miami on offense. Ryan Clement had himself a whale of a first half. I like the way he plays. We said at the beginning of the broadcast, he's a quarterback with a linebacker mentality. We might mention, and there's Tiki who's warming up, and George Welch said he hoped to get him back in the ballgame. But speaking of Ryan Clement, you know, he's pushed by his backup, Scott Covington, also.
And he had the biggest day of a Miami quarterback this year, 22 for 29 for 295 yards against Boston College.
Slot right formation out of the eye. Handoff, Daryl McMillan. McMillan all the way out to the 19-yard line. Anthony Poindexter stepped up to make the hit.
What's more important about Tiki Barber is George Welch, the head coach of the Virginia Cavaliers, said he's about 7/8 speed and he'll probably be back. But we just talked to his mom up here in the booth, and she said Tiki's a tough kid. He will be back, so look to see him in the second half of this game.
Mrs. Barber's still up here in the booth with us watching the ball game. She's about to get her master's degree, I believe, herself. Talk about her smart young men. They have a trendsetter there, a standard setter in their mom. Second down 2, Miami. Inside half handoff to the up back, Nick Williams at the 20. He certainly didn't get the first down. 24-7. Miami scored about every way you could think of. Fumble, recovery, return. There's Mom. There's, as we say, the Geraldine Barber, Tiki and Rondé's mom. How about Rondé going to the NFL? Well, how about giving us a nod? Is Rondé going to the NFL this year?
Just like a mother. No,
just thought we'd try to sneak
she's
that
not going to tell us.
And here's Tiki on the sideline stretching out. I sure hope we get to see him. There's Rondé, wears number 19. He's the left cornerback. This is 3rd down and 2. And Edgerrin James is knocked down in the backfield. I think that's Edgerrin James who came in. No, it's Darryl McMillan who started the game. He's the sophomore, tripped up by Stephen Phelan. We're expecting to see Edgerrin James more, and they may have wished they had the youngster in there on this play, but it's Darryl McMillan who stopped by the Virginia defense.
And Darryl McMillan has had a good night, but watch right here, Phelan, number 49. He gets penetration in the backfield, and when you've got a free safety that gets penetration like that, he is close to the line of scrimmage, and that's Virginia, the attack style of defense. They've got those guys in the 8-man box, and we'll talk about that later.
Crossland's second punt, low snap. They got it!
Virginia,
I think the man who got it was Dwayne Stukes, number 5. Could have been Poindexter, too. Let's take a look. That was Poindexter.
And we expected Tremaine Mack to make a block and recover for a touchdown. It's the other number 3, Anthony Poindexter.
Wow, what a play. Look where they put it down at the 1-yard line.
And here's the block. Keep an eye on number 3. He's on the outside. He's going right for the ball. He's ahead of her. He splits the 2 blockers and lays out the exact way you want to lay out. You don't lay out to the kicker. You lay out to where the ball's going to be. And Anthony Poindexter does a tremendous job of blocking this kick.
What a great play. And now the Cavaliers down 24-7. And Brooks is in at quarterback. 1st and goal from the 1. Brooks keeps it, however, whistles. Hold everything. And Miami got a timeout. Oh, the Cavalier fans didn't like it. Neither did George Welch. So timeout Miami. Well, there goes the surprise of the Aaron Brooks dive on the keeper. And here's the block kick. Watch, number 3 and number 5 came in, but number 3, Anthony Poindexter, is the man who got it, and Poindexter is the big play man.
He'll be coming right through here. Watch him. And if you keep an eye on Poindexter, he splits the blockers, and he's even being held. Look at his face mask. Right here, look at his face mask. He's being blocked, and he's being held on his face mask, but he lays out with his right arm and blocks that punt. An outstanding play by Anthony Poindexter, the senior from the University of Virginia. And
that is his 3rd blocked punt of this year. He's a big play man, too. So number 3 happens to be the number for the big team special teams players. Of course, Tremaine Mack and now Anthony Poindexter, who is only a sophomore. And there's a chance that the punter was shaken up on that play, Andy Crossland. Maybe he just has a broken heart. No, it's his ankle.
It's his ankle.
And you know, that's significant, because remember now, Crossland is also their kickoff man. I will say this, George Gaitan is a pretty good kicker. He's the backup, a walk-on, so they wouldn't be without. They're going to go to the same play again and get the touchdown again with Aaron Brooks. So Aaron Brooks gets his 4th rushing touchdown on the year, and we have a 24-13 game coming up with the point after. About to happen with Rafael Garcia, one of the best kickers in the nation. 2nd team All-American, as a matter of fact. There's Aaron Brooks. So he scored a touchdown and thrown for a touchdown in only, well, he had 4 passes he threw, and now this 1 keeper.
Absolutely, and he's a playmaker. He's got the hot hand. I stated this in the 1st quarter. George Welch has got to keep him in the ballgame. He's the only way Virginia can come back and win this game.
Well, Virginia's down 10 again now. 24-14 Hurricanes. What a wild and wacky game, the 7th annual Carquest Bowl. Brooks got the touchdown. Aaron Brooks threw for a touchdown, ran for that touchdown. He's the sophomore, came in place of Tim Sherman, who frankly is struggling tonight. Tim Sherman in the first half was only 3 of 10 for 27 yards and interception. And thanks, you said it, Mark. What hasn't happened in this ball game? There's Tremaine Mack, who returned a fumble and an interception for touchdowns.
Well, we haven't had a safety, and we haven't had Tremaine Mack return one from a kickoff because they're kicking away from him. If we get that, then we'll have everything in this ball game.
Tremaine Mack and Wimberly are back and in and out of the end zone. And now the Miami lead has been cut to 24-14 with 12:38 to go in the third quarter from Pro Player Stadium.
We talked about it in the first half, and Virginia had the ball inside the red area. They had an opportunity to either kick a field goal or go for the touchdown. And we talked about that earlier. They needed to put points on the board because in this situation, if they get a touchdown going into halftime, they're only down by 3 points. And they should have at least gone for the field goal on fourth down. I can't disagree with going for the touchdown, but at least put some points on the board. Don't walk away with nothing.
Senior Jermaine Chambers is in and split out wide on the left side for Miami. Coming back from knee surgery, missed the final 3 games, but he's not going to have an opportunity to catch the ball. Jamie Sharper, Wally Rayner. Those linebackers, raining is a good idea because they're pouring right now. 3 Virginia sacks in this game.
Watch Sharper come in from the offensive left side, the defensive right. He beats the blocker, the offensive back right there, goes around and puts a hand on the quarterback, Ryan Clement. Gets a little help on the end from Wally Rayner, but that was all Jamie Sharper on that play.
Virginia not ready to step out of this football game. Down 24-14. 12 minutes to go in the quarter. Lost 9 on the play. This is second down 19 for the Hurricanes. Clement. No pressure at all. Is it picked? Almost intercepted by Rondé Barber. Tony Gator was the intended receiver. I thought Barber was going to have a goal line and a headline.
And that would have been a touchdown if Rondé picks this ball up. Watch him. He's on Tony Gator. He knows he's their #1 wide receiver because Yatil Green hasn't come out of the locker room. Here you're going to see him stride for stride. Great coverage skills. He plants. He knows the ball is being thrown. He breaks on it right there in front of the wide receiver. If you're Tony Gator, you've got to come back to the ball. But the recovery speed of Rondé Barber, that's why that play was no good for the Miami Hurricanes.
How about it went through Barber's hands, and then Gator almost caught it. This is 3rd and 19 from the Miami 11. Hurricanes leading 24-14. 3rd down 19. Clement steps into the pocket. Heady. Deep ball. Incomplete at the 46-yard line. Barber again with the coverage on Tony Gator.
The reason why there wasn't interference was he was going for the ball. The wide receiver wasn't looking at it, but Rondé was going for the ball. And in this situation, how come they're not throwing at Joel Williams? They're picking on Rondé Barber, their best defensive back. Watch him. He's keeping his eye on the wide receiver, running step for step for him. Look at his eyes. His eyes are on the ball with the receiver, but he's going after the ball.
We're wondering if Crossland would punt. Remember, he was shaken up on the block. He got a wobbly kick out there. Not much confidence on that, but it gets a good Miami bounce. And inside Virginia territory down to about the 44-yard line. And the Cavaliers down 10 will have excellent field position after the 45-yard punt from Crossland. Well, Virginia with good field position. They got the block punt and the touchdown to cut the lead to 10. Miami was held. And Tiki Barber is coming back in. This is why Tiki went out. This is his 4th carry, and he was hit twice, Mark, on that hit.
On the same hit. First he's hit by Burgess, then he's hit right on the ground, right on his right hip. He takes 2 shots on that. That's why he's out of the game, but he's back.
Aaron Brooks, the quarterback. Tiki Barber wears number 21. He's in the backfield. This is Barber. He gets about 4 on the first, but there's a penalty marker down. There was some movement there on the defensive side of the ball from Chad Pegues, the defensive tackle, and that is the call, offsides against the Hurricanes. SEC officiating crew, by the way. Bill Goss is the referee, the man in the white hat.
Offsides, defense, penalties 5 yards, 1st down.
In case you dialed in late, you've missed most of Tiki Barber because he missed most of the first half with his hip pointer. Tiki Barber, the all-time leading rusher in the history of the University of Virginia. He eclipsed the mark that was set by Terry Kirby, now with the 49ers. 3,389 yards career. Went out with 6 minutes left to go in the first quarter, and now he's back with a sore hip. 1st and 5 after the penalty out at the 49-yard line. Barber. Nowhere, lost a yard or 2. Kenny Holmes with a penetration. Talked about this turf being a little loose down there. You think it's loose, Mark?
It's very loose. You're going to see right here, Tiki Barber. He's going to try to cut and make a move, and his feet will slip. He's going laterally right there. See him slip? He can't get that good traction in this ground because in the middle of the field where they resodded it, it's still wet from the rain last night, and it's difficult to get some traction in there.
Yeah, got the divots coming up. Tiki 5 carries, only 6 yards now. This is second down 6. Thomas back in. He gets it out on the flare pass to the right side. Thomas is close to the first down. Thomas Jones gets the ball down to about the 45-yard line for the first down on the flare pass out to the right side. The freshman, Thomas Jones.
I think after that earlier fumble, the freshman Thomas Jones is coming into his own. He's got confidence now. He's catching the ball in the backfield. What I'm looking for, you see Aaron Brooks when he drops back in huddle, he's got confidence in his offensive line. He didn't look downfield. He knew he was going to throw his swing pass to his running back Thomas Jones. Completed the pass. Virginia's got a first down.
First and 10 at the 45. This is the 7th time tonight that the Cavaliers have been in Miami territory. As Crowell in motion, they give it to Thomas Jones, hit right at the line of scrimmage. Kenny Holmes. We've got him for 7 tackles already in this game. Number 90, the senior from Gifford, Florida.
And Kenny Holmes, we've talked about him a lot tonight. He's having a competition with the other defensive end, Kennard Lang, for the sack title. He thinks he can get him, but watch him on this play. He fights off the tackle, goes to his responsibility, which is contained, comes back in and makes the tackle on the running back, Thomas Jones. Excellent read by Kenny Holmes. Here he is again. Watch him. He fights off the tackle, keys his read, follows it to the end, and makes the tackle.
Second down 10 from the 45-yard line. The play fake. Brooks all day to throw. Missed his target down at the 29-yard line. Brian Owen. That play fake worked beautifully, and I frankly thought, and I think if Barber had played more in the first half, it would have happened. The play fake is something that they can go with because of the aggressiveness of the upfield rush here of the Miami Hurricanes.
Absolutely, and they have to respect the running of Tiki Barber for the play action, but Holmes gets blocked. A great job by the offensive line, but what's nervousness here, the quarterback gets a little nervous, and he steps up in the pocket, and he gets a little jitterbug on his feet because he's not used to having 5 or 6 seconds in the pocket to throw the football.
And he's thinking about number 90, Kenny Holmes. 3rd and 10, Virginia 0 for 6 on 3rd down convergence tonight. 3rd and 10 from the 45. 3 wide outs in there. Brooks out of the shotgun. There comes that man Holmes again. Brooks throwing on the run. Missed his receiver. 5 players were around Jermaine Crowell, and I think Lang was the man on the pressure this time, kind of getting even with Kenny Holmes.
Well, we talked about that before. They've got a friendly competition, but each of them wants to win. They're very aggressive in this. And Kennard Lang put pressure on quarterback Aaron Brooks, but Aaron Brooks had time to throw that ball. He rolled out of the pocket, gave himself some extra time, but there was no one open downfield to throw the ball to.
Will Bryson to punt. This will be his 5th punt of the day, averaging a little over 41 yards. The left footer. Look at the hang time. The NFL scouts will love this. Dwayne Starks can't go near it. Bounces straight out of bounds. Not good distance, though, at the 24-yard line. That was only 21 yards. 9:20 to go in the 3rd quarter. Miami by 10.
The Miami Hurricanes on top by the score 24-14. Mark May mentioned earlier, if you want to go into the NFL after college, you become a Miami Hurricane, as these guys have done. Benny Blades, Brian Blades, and also Ryan McNeil. First of all, the Blade brothers. We talk so much about the Barbers. You also have another brother as a freshman. What's your impression of the Miami Hurricanes so far tonight?
Well, actually, they're coming out and they play smart ball in the first half. Other than the turnovers that they gave up in the first half, but they need to come out and continue to play the way they played in the first half and cut down on the turnovers.
Back to Bob real quickly.
Clement with the handoff. Darryl McMillan and back to Craig Sager.
Benny, after the great success you guys had at Miami, is it difficult to go to the pros, like go to Detroit, where you lose and you lose your coach? How do you accept losing?
I tell you what, you never accept losing. The thing is, it's been a very hard adjustment for me, especially Ryan with both being up in Detroit. And, you know, hey, I think Wayne Fonz, he'll fall on his feet somewhere. You know, he's a good guy. And, hey, I wish him nothing but the best.
Back to Bob for a second.
2nd down, 11. Backs in an I formation. Clement with the play fake. He's got all day to throw. Just missed his flanker, Tony Gator. Nice coverage again by Rondé Barber. Back to Craig Sager.
Ryan, after all the problems the senior class went through, to have that class come back, endure all the adversity, get the accolades academically, are you proud of the program once again?
I'm very proud. I think once it came, always a hurricane. I think the things that we went through, a lot of other programs experienced, but just because we're as successful as you are, I think everything we do is blown way out of proportion sometimes.
All right, thank you very much. Let's go back to Bob.
Miami struggling offensively here in the second half. 3rd down 11 now. Edgerrin James in at the I-back spot. He gets the call. See that move? That's the Tony Dorsett look. However, only about 3 yards for Edgerrin James. James Ferrier made the tackle, so that's 3 and out. And Miami will have to punt it away.
Here's an end zone look. Watch Edgerrin James right here. It's the ISO lead draw. He gets a good block from his fullback right there, and he should just take the ball straight ahead. Don't jitterbug in a hole. Take the ball north and south, and that's a freshman mistake. He'll get used to that as time goes on.
Thomas Jones getting away from the ball. Looked to me like one of the Miami players hit it out about the 27. That's where they'll spot it down, probably. We have 8 minutes to go in the 3rd quarter. A punt of 52 yards. Hurricanes up by 10. Miami was ahead 24-7. Virginia making a comeback of sorts here. You wonder if they can come back. Let's go back to that November showdown with North Carolina. This had to be their most sensational win of the season. Facing the then 6th-ranked Tar Heels in Charlottesville, the Cavs found themselves trailing by 14 after a late 3rd quarter interception return for a TD by Carolina. Then with the Tar Heels knocking on the door again in the 4th, Virginia freshman Antoine Harris turned the tables. This is a 95-yard interception return for a TD. Then the 7-yard draw by Sherman, knotted the score at 17. Rafael Garcia's 32-yarder with 39 seconds left capped the Cavs' comeback. Gave Virginia perhaps its most memorable moment this season, unless they come back and win this game. 1st down 10 from the 27 now. Aaron Brooks stays in at quarterback. Barber's back in. Here's Tiki right side. Got a little bit of a block and put a little more on his own. Out across the 30 near the 34-yard line. And this is the Miami kicker, Crossland, who's kicks and punts.
Nice lights on that right there. You like that? I'm getting pretty good at this. They can call me Picasso.
There's probably some special meaning in that cap. I hope so. That's the most beat-up cap I've seen since the one you wore yesterday at our meeting.
It has to be a good luck charm for him. When you have a special hat, you have to wear it.
2nd down 2. Cavaliers down 10, 7:21 to go in the 3rd period. That's Owen in motion. They give it to the up-back. That's Charles Kirby. Close to the 1st down, but he didn't get there. Tiki Barber got hurt with 6 minutes to go in the 1st quarter. See the tape on that right side. That's where he was hit.
Right there on his thigh. And usually when you get a hit like that, you want to keep your thigh pad tight. You want to keep the muscle tight around it. And sometimes when you put pressure on that, it alleviates some of the pain on your hip and your thigh. And that's probably why that pad's there. It's not doing anything more. It doesn't have any padding under there. It's just some tape on there to put pressure on his thigh.
This is a man who averaged 123 yards a game rushing this year. You see after that injury only 14 yards so far. And so far the Cavaliers have gone as Tiki Barber has gone. It's what, an inch short of the 1st down.
At most.
So this will be 3rd down and about an inch for George Welch's Cavaliers. Butch Davis getting a little concerned. Got the headphones on, Mark.
Yes, his game's a little bit closer. He wants to know what his coordinators are calling. He wants to be involved in the play calling now.
Virginia 0 for 7 on 3rd down conversions. They should get this one, though. It's only an inch or so. And they do. Aaron Brooks, who is 6'3", falls forward. Brooks might, as he grows older and gets more playing time, and you can almost bet he'll get more playing time, might want to beef up a little bit.
Yeah, he needs to gain a few more pounds. He needs to get a little stockier. As you saw on that quarterback sneak, it almost looked like he had the high heels on. We used to call this the high heel drills. When you watch Ryan Clement run it, when he runs a quarterback sneak, he bulls his way in there and gets the 1st down. Some quarterbacks take a step back and try to pick a hole. You can't do that. You've got to forcefully put yourself into that hole and drive for the 1st down.
He did successfully achieve the 1st down yardage. 1st and 10 at the 38-yard line. Miami leading by 10. Barber in motion out of the backfield. Brooks is going to throw to Tiki. Gain of about 7 or 8 on the play out near the 45 to the 46-yard line. Tiki Barber with the catch.
And you got to like the way that Aaron Brooks just slung that ball out there. He put some mustard on that pass, a little out to Tiki Barber.
You see the Marlon Barnes, that's MB, that's the Miami player who was murdered tragically in the spring in his apartment. Robert Woodis died in the
He's got an extra. He's got 2 on his hands.
Second down 1. From about the 46. There's the play fake to Barber. Brooks under pressure. Gets the first down and goes out of bounds. Quick feed of Aaron Brooks.
We're watching a young sophomore mature as this game goes on. He didn't try to force that ball downfield. He just tucked it under his arm, took it down for the first down. A very smart play by the young quarterback, Aaron Brooks. Here's another play at it. He's got to take the ball. Little play action fake. He's going to roll to his left. Come back. There's nothing there. He feels the pressure. He's going to scramble to his right. Instead of throwing the ball downfield to try to make a big play, the smart thing is to tuck it away, head for the first down, and get out of bounds.
Along with Craig Sager and Mark May, this is Bob Neal from Pro Players Stadium. 7th annual Carquest Bowl. Miami led 24-7 at the half. A blocked punt and a touchdown. It's 24-14, and now the Cavaliers trying to get some back. Not this time. May have been a loss on the play. Runner gets back to the line of scrimmage. It's Thomas Jones carrying the ball. And this is the 8th time Virginia has gone into Hurricane territory tonight with 2 touchdowns to show for it.
Well, this is the time they need to capitalize on this and get some points out of this. 8 times and only 2 touchdowns. They need more points than that. And you just saw Twan Russell on that play get great penetration. First team all Big East, and that's why, because he's a smart, heady ball player. He knows how to tackle guys and wrap them up in the backfield.
2nd and 10 from the 48. Brooks throwing across his body. That's incomplete. Or did he get it? Yeah, he caught it. Brian Owen. Earl Little went for the interception, but the catch was made by Brian Owen.
Outstanding concentration by Brian Owen. He was covered very well. The defender cut right in front of him, but he keeps his concentration and receives the ball. Here you're going to see Aaron Brooks. He takes a hit from Twan Russell. Great job on his part in getting that ball out there. Here you go. Here's Owens right there catching that ball. The defender draped all over him.
Yeah, nice job by the former walk-on kicker, remember. 6 feet, 175. He's from Camp Hill, Pennsylvania.
I always said those kickers were tough guys. Not.
I don't think you said that. I don't remember reading that quote. Aaron Brooks, 5 of 8 for 67 yards and 1 TD, and he ran for a touchdown. This is 1st and 10 at the 37. There's a play fake. Again, time. He's going to tuck it under. Aaron Brooks, first down. To the 17-yard line. Aaron Brooks igniting this Cavaliers team. He got 20 on that one. He got also some sod on his helmet and is a little shaken.
It's a little bit shaken, but it was a great play by Aaron Brooks. Here's a smart play. We're watching this young man evolve as a quarterback. This is some of the things that Tim Sherman can't do. Watch Aaron Brooks. He's going to make the play fake. He's going to set back in the huddle and look downfield. No one's open. He gets a little nervous because he's got a lot of time. He'll take the ball, tuck it under, and go straight ahead. There he breaks the tackle, and he heads down to make a move right there. Moves to his left, stiff arm. Dives for it for the first down for UVA.
And look who came all the way down to finish him off. Kenny Holmes, who also made the big upfield rush. This is 1st and 10 from the 18. This is Thomas Jones. Diving near the first down stick inside the 10. He got the first down. They're going to say he got to the 7-yard line. Burgess got the hit. And here is the true freshman, Thomas Jones.
Watch Thomas Jones break contain here. He's going to get outside the end. Holmes right here. The great defensive end from the University of Miami. Watch this. It's a great block by the tight end, Deary. Walt Deary hooks him on the line of scrimmage. Allows Thomas Jones to break contain and turn the ball upfield for the first down.
Deary did a great job on the All-American Carnell Brown at Virginia Tech. He's an excellent blocking tight end. 1st and goal at the 6. Tiki Barber hit at the 6. No gain. 4:13 to go in the quarter. Butch Davis, who's gone to the headsets here in the second half, nervous. He's seen his team held scoreless in this quarter. And he saw a blocked punt and Virginia score one. Then he saw his team go 3 and out.
Ever since quarterback Aaron Brooks got into the game, the momentum has changed. Now it's on the side of Virginia. If they can score here, this is going to be a heck of a ball game. We've had it all in this game. Now Virginia's come back, as you said before, Bob. They came back against North Carolina. Now they're starting to show the same signs against Miami. They're coming back to the football, but they're doing it with quarterback Aaron Brooks.
This started from the Virginia 27 and 11th play of the drive. 2nd and goal from the 6. The fake to Barber. Brooks under pressure. Throws it away. Demetrius Dotson, the true freshman. Also, they have 3 true freshmen playing on this Virginia football team. Dotson one of them, but he just threw that one away.
Here's a pressure by Kennard Lang. It's going to come from the opposite side. He's going to fake the pitch and roll to his right. Well, Kennard Lang stays at home. He's got contained right there. He's going to put pressure on the quarterback, and he's going to drop Brooks.
Now we have 3rd and goal. This has been Virginia's problem. Inability to score the touchdowns in the red zone.
Not only that, their 3rd down conversion is very poor. This is an opportunity for them to capitalize in the red area. They've been in the Miami football side of the field 8 times and only scored twice. They've got to come away with points, and they really need a touchdown on this drive.
And only 1 for 8 on 3rd down conversions. This is 3rd and goal from the 6. And Brooks goes down back at the 12-yard line. The dam burst. Conley was there. Lang was there. Lang's the man they call the sack man for Miami. And Coley, of course, number 47, the linebacker. They'll give Lang, I think, credit for the play.
Here's the replay. Here's the blitz right up through the middle. The quarterback, Aaron Brooks, never has a chance. It was just like the offense just gave up. Right here, you're going to see number 47 come in. He's starting before the center snaps. They've got to keep an eye on him. Whenever they're starting to rush in a red area like that, you know they're going to blitz. So at least point the guy out and block him.
Look at that. Do you believe it? Another special teams play. Whoa, baby. You're getting it all in this bowl game.
It's incredible. The T-Mac did it again. He's done everything tonight. All he's got to do is return him for a touchdown. Here's the kick. Here's a hold. It's a bad snap, but he gets it down. Right there, he comes across the top and puts pressure on the kicker. And I think it was Kenny Holmes that got the block. I think he missed it when he went by him. Right there is T-Mac. No, he gets his right hand on it and knocks it away. Outstanding effort by Tremaine Mack. He's done it all tonight. If this guy isn't the MVP of the Carquest Bowl in the history of the Carquest Bowl, where is it one?
We'll have you go chat with the people who pick it up if that happens. And now the Hurricanes, who really got themselves well. It was 1st and goal at the 6 for the Miami Cavaliers, for the Virginia Cavaliers, and Miami held them. And Edgerrin Gaines carried on that play. Here it is again.
The outside guy on the left, and he's going to get a great jump. Tremaine Mack, look at him. Nobody's going to put a hand on him. He gets a great jump and goes around the corner and lays out perfectly to block that field goal attempt.
That's the first block, by the way, for Rafael Garcia. He was a second-team All-American kicker. He led the nation in field goals per game, so you don't see much of that. 2nd down 5, and just a momentary lapse on the bobbled snap. Clement in trouble, flush from the pocket. Clement is tripped, almost goes down, and then throws the interception to Rodney Barber from his own 40. Barber back to the 49-yard line. What a game. Miami 4 turnovers, Virginia 3.
And that was a great example. Here's the play. Watch quarterback Ryan Clement. He's got an opportunity. He's being chased out of the pocket by Wally Reiner. Watch him run. Here it is. He gets by one tackler, one defender. He keeps his balance. But here's the situation when he should just throw the ball away. Don't try to make a big play. Throw the ball away and come back to fight another day.
Not gunslinger Ryan Clement. He just, sometimes he's his own worst enemy. He just never says die.
Rondé Barber, he's Johnny on the spot, and they keep throwing in his direction. For some reason, he's the best defender out there, and they keep taking their shots at him, and he's making them pay for it. Look at the reaction right there by Ryan Clement. He knows he made the mistake.
Great replay. Brooks now to throw. He's going to tuck it, get back to the line of scrimmage, maybe a yard. 24-14 Miami. Minute 27 to go in the 3rd quarter. You said, is there anything else? You know, we wondered, we'd had a punt block, had the interception return, the fumble return. You said maybe a field goal block. Now we got that.
Yep. All we need is Tremaine Mack to return a kickoff for a touchdown. That's the only thing we're really missing in this game.
Well, Virginia would not mind giving him a chance if that meant they scored a touchdown.
Miami coach is up in the box.
Second down 8. Cavaliers from the 48. That's Thomas Jones. Only a couple of yards. Damon Neely made the tackle. Penalty marker is down. That's a personal foul on the Hurricanes. That'll be big.
Dead ball foul after the play. Personal foul on the defense. Penalty be 15 yards from the succeeding spot. Automatic first down.
And those are the things, if you're a head coach like Butch Davis, that drive you crazy. You just stop them for a short game, and all of a sudden you do something ridiculous and stupid and have some stupidity and commit a personal foul for a first down. Now Virginia's got excellent field position.
This is the 9th time Virginia has been in Miami territory. Remember last time they had it 1st and goal at the 6. Ended up with a blocked field goal attempt. 43 seconds to go in the period. 1st and 10 from the 32-yard line of the Hurricanes. They're going to try a reverse to Owen, but Miami read it. No one goes down. A big loss way back at the 40. It's going to be a loss of about 8 yards on the play. Thomas Jones gave it to Brian Owen. And Owen was finally tackled by Damon Neely.
Check out Kennard Lang on this play. He gets great penetration down the line of scrimmage. Watch him. He sees it because he's so deep in the line of scrimmage. He puts pressure on the running back, the wide receiver Brian Owen, on the reverse, and there's no chance for him to get through. There's too much speed, team speed of the Miami Hurricanes. It's difficult to run a reverse on this team.
They lost 8. Second down 18. 5 seconds to go in the period. There's Kennard Lang, the sacked man, 11 and a half in the regular season. And they're not going to get the playoff. That's the end of the 3rd quarter. Miami leading 24-14. Virginia getting a lot of opportunities, but no touchdowns. Show you a technological phenomenon. Let's kind of call it the food chain of blimps. Here's the big blimp, the blockbuster blimp, shooting the little blimp, the Carquest tether cam. Both of them have cameras to shoot pictures of the field. So that's a picture from the blockbuster to the Carquest tether cam, and then the tether cam shows you the field. Amazing.
I like that shot from the tether cam. That's pretty neat.
You'd think with that kind of technology we could have made it to the moon. No, we didn't. All right, this is going to be the first play of the 4th quarter. Miami, how about this? In the 3rd quarter, this is Virginia's defense. Told you they were 15th ranked in the nation, and they're unheralded. No first downs for Miami and only 7 yards held by Virginia.
No points.
24-14, Virginia. Going the other way now. Aaron Brooks has his man wide open. It's the tight end to the 27-yard line, and that's a redshirt freshman who made his only 5th catch all year long, Casey Crawford.
He's a big play tight end. He's averaging 17.8 yards per catch, but 6'6". There's our tether cam up above again. That provides an excellent picture. Believe it or not, they used to call me the blimp when I played a few years ago, but that was long ago. Actually, it was another player on the team, but I was called the blimp when I was a youngster.
I can't believe that. I can't believe anybody had the guts to tell you that.
Well, they did it from a distance.
3rd and 5. Cavaliers trying to come back. They're trailing 24-14. We're down 24-7 at the half. We have 14 minutes and 15 seconds in the game out of the shotgun. Pressure. Brooks got rid of it. Miami wanted an intentional grounding, but officials say there was somebody close enough. The quarterback pressure from guess who? Number 90, Kenny Holmes.
I'll tell you what, these guys, Kenny Holmes and Kennard Lang, know how to pressure a quarterback. And right here, Kenny Holmes doesn't get touched. And it's a smart play right there by Aaron Brooks to feel the pressure and get rid of the ball. But you've got to protect this young quarterback. He's only a sophomore. Give him a chance to be successful. Put somebody on their 2 best pass rushers, Kennard Lang and Kenny Holmes.
Virginia only 1 for 10 on 3rd down conversions. Now they're going to go for the field goal. This will be 44-yard attempt from Garcia. The last one is blocked, and so is this one. Oh, baby. Picking it up and running with it after the ball was picked up on the loose scramble was Dwayne Starks, but guess who?
Tremaine Mack. I'll tell you what, Miami can definitely take just a boring average field goal attempt and turn it into an exciting play.
Let's see, was it Mack again? It's hard to tell on that replay. It may not have been Tremaine Mack on that one. Watch number 90. That's who got
right there. He got that big paw out there and just swatted it down.
What a ball game. 14:09 to go. Miami by 10. Well, the last big play of the game, the most recent, was made by Kenny Holmes blocking the field goal. That's 2 field goal blocks by Miami in the game, and Virginia had a punt block. Tremaine Mack already, and there's another player we're going to see in a moment, secondary player for Virginia. Both of these players, I think, Mark, we may be seeing at the next level.
I think you're absolutely right, Bob. When you look at these players, and NFL scouts, when they watch these players, they look for playmakers, not just the speed and the size and all those great statistics. You look for guys that can play football and make big plays. And here, Rondé Barber, watch this. Excellent concentration on the interception. Returns it back, and here again, he keeps his eyes on the football. Look at his athleticism in catching that ball. I mean, when you're looking for great defensive backs, great linebackers, this is a great game for NFL scouts because there's tremendous talent here on this football field.
Rondé Barber, 3 interceptions on the regular season. He leads all active defensive backs in the ACC in career interceptions, and 2 here in this game. 1st and 10 from the 40 now. Hurricanes up by 10 with 14 minutes to go in the ball game. Just a little bit more than 14. Clement comes out firing. That's a first down and more to the 39-yard line. Magic Benton with the reception. And a gain of 21. And that's the first down for Miami in this half.
You see what Miami did is they came out throwing the ball, first of all, on first down. And second of all, they didn't throw it Rondé Barber. This is the first time in the second half they didn't go his direction, and they had some success with it.
Yeah, Rondé told us that he would make his decision. You know, he's only a junior, but he's the same age, of course, as his brother Tiki. And he's thinking about coming out and going to the pro football draft. Said he'd decide after this game's over. Might he have kind of wanted to see how he did against a team like Miami Hurricanes?
I think so. I think his decision's been made after tonight.
Handoff gets about 3 yards. That's Trent Jones. Now let's go to Craig Sager.
The Miami offense playing without tight end Yatil Green. Remember, he scored the first touchdown for Miami. However, he had a sprained jaw in the first half, went into the locker room. It tightened up. He could not open his upper jaw to put his mouth guard back in. They took him back in for x-rays. Now they have been told that he has a concussion as well, so he is in the locker room. We will not see Yatil Green, who scored that first touchdown back in the game.
Well, we're sorry for that. He's a junior. Don't want to make light of an injury, but, you know, just think about that. A sprained jaw for an announcer would be a career ender. To the tight end, Gerald Daphne, to the 26-yard line. Another first down pass from Ryan Clement. McKeever made the stop, a gain of 11.
And here's an end zone look, and this is an area that Miami has to exploit. Their tight ends, they've got 3 of them in double-digit receptions. Here he's going to run just a simple crossing pattern. There's no one around him. Great job by quarterback Ryan Clement of just paying a little pitch and catch, dumping the ball to the tight end Gerald Daphne.
6'1", 260. And he was hit there by the hitter, Anthony Poindexter. Only gave up about 60 pounds on that exchange. First and 10 from the 25-yard line of the Cavaliers. Hurricanes up 10. Here's a handoff to their Jones. Trent Jones off the left side again to the 23-yard line. Tony Dingle came up to make the play. There's Tony, number 89. Tony is a sophomore. They've got 3 good young players up front. Maurice Anderson, who's a redshirt freshman. Johnny Shivers, Tony Dingle. They're all sophomores. So Virginia has a good future for this defensive front.
Let's not forget Travis Griffin. He's a 6'3", 239-pound freshman, and he can play a little defensive line.
Second down, 7 from the 21. They give it to the up back, Nick Williams. To the 20. Even a field goal here from Miami would be big numbers. Give them a 13-point lead with 12 minutes to go in the game. They're certainly getting in field goal range. But remember, their primary field goal kicker, Andy Crossland, who missed 4 of his last 6 in the regular season anyway, was shaken up. They were icing his leg down. They might have to go to a walk-on named George Gaitan.
I like George Gaitan. If he gets a chance to kick a field goal, we'll talk a little bit about him later. He can kick the ball off. He's got a little power in his legs. He's not very big, but he's a little wide.
3rd and 5 from the 20. Penalty markers. Across the middle, complete to the 9-yard line to Mondrell Fulcher. The redshirt freshman penalty markers down. It may be against Virginia. Dingle looked as though, number 89, as though he may have jumped offsides.
Offsides, defense.
That's 3 free plays.
It's the 3rd time tonight, and every time Miami's capitalized in this situation, once for a touchdown, once for a long pass, a big play, and on this play. And I mean, it's just a smart play by Miami. They don't let up. They don't slack off. If there's a penalty flag thrown, they just go ahead and execute.
There's Rick Lance, the defensive coordinator for the 15th ranked in total defense Virginia Cavaliers. This is 1st and goal from the 9. 24-14, Miami leading. Clement. Heady play. Jones to the 2-yard line. Credit Clement.
Smart play by Ryan Clement, making something out of nothing and keeping the wits about him when the heat's getting on. And he's just great at running and moving in the pocket and keeping his feet moving and moving the pocket. Watch him here. He gets all the time to throw the ball. He steps up. There's nothing there, so he wants to make something out of it. He pitches the ball out to his running back, Trent Jones. He takes the ball and gains about 7 yards on the play.
2nd down and goal from the 2 now. This would make it really deep for the Cavaliers. Miami leads 24-14. Clements on this drive, 4-4, 51 yards, 2nd and goal. Daphne, the tight end, in motion. Jones. Trent Jones, the freshman. And it's 30-14 Miami.
Nice block by offensive guard Mike Winter on that play. Pulled from the left side of the line to the right. Great trap block. Here you're going to see it. You're going to look to the right of your screen. You're going to see a big mass come in and pull. Right there, that's a big offensive lineman. Boom, right there. It's a great block, but it's a big guy against a little guy. You can't give him a big plus on that play. 280-pounder against a 190-pound defensive back.
And they threw a flag on that play, too. Bill Goss, the SEC referee, maybe against the Hurricanes.
After the touchdown, dead ball, personal foul on the offense. Penalty be taken on the kickoff, 15-yard penalty.
So it is against the Hurricanes, but the touchdown will count. Miami drove 60 yards in 8 plays. Jones carried it 2 yards for the TD. Trent Jones. Point after, splits the uprights. 31-14, 10-14 to go. From the opposite side, Trent Jones on the touchdown run. You may have seen probably have seen the last of the collegiate career of the University of Virginia's all-time leading rusher, Tiki Barber. 3,389 yards in his great career at Virginia. Tonight, got a hip pointer early, 7 carries, 14 yards. He went out with like 6 minutes to go in the 1st quarter. And came back here gamely in the 2nd half.
And he's got a heart of a line. You have to commend him for coming back because he took a heck of a hit, a heck of a whack on his hip. And he didn't have to come back in this game. It was his last game, as you said, at Virginia. And he came back and gave it the old college try, and he wanted to go out there and support his teammates. But, hey, the guy's got a heart of a line. We know he's a tough guy. He's just going back to go back in the locker room and take those pads off and sit back and hopefully root his team on to victory to come back against Miami.
Great student, 3.36 grade point average in finance in the School of Commerce, a CFA scholar athlete. They wanted to get him 30 carries tonight. After the penalty, here comes Antoine Harris. And Virginia once again is going to have excellent field position. And let's see if Craig Sager, who was trying to catch up to Tiki, got him. Craig?
Well, Bob, I talked to Tiki as he went into the locker room, and yes, he does have a hip pointer, and that is painful. However, going back in that 3rd quarter, the SI joint, the lower part of his back, stiffened up. He talked to the trainers. It did not allow him to run. So he went back in. He is being treated right now, and obviously will not see him the rest of the evening.
So that's the end of the collegiate career of Rondé's brother, twin brother, Tiki, who went into the locker room. Not a good way to go out. You may see him at the show, as they like to say. However, inside Miami territory again goes Brian Owens. What is that, 11 times they've been inside Miami territory tonight? Virginia has penetrated Hurricane territory 11 times. They have 2 touchdowns to show for it.
You got to take your hat off to the Miami defense. I mean, they've done an outstanding job of keeping them out of the end zone, 1, and 2, their special teams for blocking 2 field goal attempts. They'll let them get inside the 50-yard line, but they won't let them score.
2nd down 7 from the 48 of the Hurricanes now. Play fake. You see Aaron Brooks slipping there, but he completes it across the middle to Crowell, down to the 12-yard line, make it the 17-yard line, and out of bounds on the near side is Crowell.
You got to like Aaron Brooks to keep his concentration. Watch right here, he slips, but he stays in the pocket. He looks to his second receiver. You just saw him look off. Right there, he's got Crowell running down the middle of the field on a crossing pattern. Hits him for the first down.
He is the future for Virginia at the quarterback spot. Tim Sherman, of course, the senior who did not have a good bowl game here tonight. Brooks, only the sophomore. He's come in, gone 8 for 13 for 114 yards, got 31 yards on that play. This is first down 10, Cavaliers from the 17 of the Hurricanes. Jones, only about a yard or so. Kenny Holmes, we've got him for unofficially 10 tackles, got a blocked field goal, a sack, and what a game he's had.
And when it's your last game, when you're donning the silks the last time for your alma mater, you'll want to play well, and he stepped up to the plate today, and he's had a tremendous game.
The C starter Tim Sherman struggled throughout the night. 3 of 10, 27 yards through the 1 interception. 8:55 to go in the game. 31-14 Miami. Virginia trying to close that gap here. Once again inside the red zone. This has been their Achilles heel in the second half of this season. Complete to Owen. Owen to the 9. Gain of about 6 or 7 on the play. The line to make for the first down is the 7-yard lines, however.
And on this play, watch Holmes again. He's going to get pressure on quarterback Aaron Brooks. A great swim move right there to go by the offensive lineman, and he puts pressure on the quarterback and drops him to the ground. But Brooks does a great job of hanging in there and throwing the ball. Here it is again. Watch him. He knows he's under pressure. He gets rid of the ball right there for the completion to Brian Owen.
3rd down, a long 2 just inside the 10. In motion out of the backfield goes Jones. Brooks, they double team Leon rushing in, and that's a pass for the first down. Nicely executed. Out of bounds at the 3 goes Crowell.
And that's a great job of using a little speed protection, breaking the contain, getting out of the pocket right here. Watch him. He's just going to speed to the right. He's going to run to his right. It's a little dash and throw the ball on the run for the completion for the first down to Jermaine Crowell.
What a night he's having. 6 catches, 97 yards, and a TD. And on the season, Crowell only had 33 catches.
That's it, 33 catches, but he's their go-to guy now. Maybe he's got a great connection with Aaron Brooks because that's who he's looked for. That's who he threw his touchdown pass to.
Crowell's a junior. He'll be back next year, too. 1st and goal from the 3. Touchdown, Cavaliers. Thomas Jones. Jones had 3 touchdowns during the regular season. He's only 18 years old. 47 is Tony Coley. Shaken up. Let's hope he's all right. He's getting up on his own, I think.
Watch the lead by the fullback 34, Darrell Medley. He's just going to blast through the hole right behind 36 and just clear the way for number 6, Thomas Jones. Charles Curry was on the lead, but right here you're looking at Tony Coley. We talked to head coach Butch Davis yesterday, and he said he's an outstanding young man. When you talk about young men, he's a father first. He's a daddy. He's a real smart guy in school. He's even corrected some of the physics books at the University of Miami for mistakes, and he's a heck of a football player, so we hope he's all right.
You know, we're big on statistics and giving you the complete statistical story. How about this one? 3.99 GPA in pre-med.
Well, he's almost perfect.
What was he doing, you know? How did he go wrong?
Here we're going to see Tony Coley right here. Let's keep an eye on him. He's right in front of Tremaine Mack, running in for the tackle. He gets hit by his own defender. That was the problem. A lot of times you get injured because you don't see the guy that's trying to make the tackle. When you're trying to make the tackle, you get speared by your own teammate.
Garcia with the point after. Everything's an adventure in terms of kicks here because of Miami's great special teams play. 6 plays, 51 yards, 2 minutes, 17 seconds. Thomas Jones, 3-yard TD run, and it's back to a 2-point spread. Beautiful night in South Florida. Miami up by 10 with 7:57 to go. We'd like to thank the Blockbuster Blimp for providing us with these beautiful aerial views, currently flying over us at an altitude of about 1,000 feet. There's the Blockbuster. And this, with 7:57 to go, one of the oldest cliches. I'm going to say it, though, because it's true. This isn't over.
It ain't over till it's over. And Virginia's
like Aaron
coming
Brooks?
back.
That last drive took very little time, moved them right down the field in 6 plays, took only 2 minutes 17 seconds. 31-21. There have been all kinds of turnovers tonight, blocked kicks, you name it, it's happened. There's Tremaine Mack, who has a fumble return for a touchdown tonight. Blocked field goal. From the 3. Lost the ball at the 17. They're saying it was covered by Miami. My, that could have turned things in a hurry. Man who made the tackle down there.
Here's the run back, Tremaine Mack. First of all, I'm surprised they kicked it to him. He averages 39.5 yards per return, #1 in the nation. And it's a great strip on the play. But Tremaine Mack looks like he recovers it underneath the pile.
That's Wale Alegbe.
That's why I waited for you to say that.
Yeah, Wale Alegbe from Teaneck, New Jersey. He is a redshirt freshman, and so Tremaine, he keeps making special plays.
He gets his camera time.
That was on the wrong side of the ledger. Clement, 263 yards, TD, and 2 interceptions tonight. 31-21. Virginia, 15th ranked defense. They need big plays. Here comes Clement. He slid down, then was hit by Johnny Shivers after he slid down, and the Miami fans wanted a flag. None was coming. Shivers just couldn't resist. He's 6'5", 290, the little shot at the QB.
Well, sometimes when you get that 290 going, it's tough to stop when a quarterback slides out from underneath you.
What was your peak weight playing time?
Playing time, 308.
And like what? 3-4% body fat. Incredible.
I wish. I was a hog, remember? They didn't call that for nothing.
That's true, and you were proud of that. 2nd and 8. The Canes 19. Clement, hours to throw. Finally completes it out near the 30 to the fullback, Carlo Joseph, and a gain of 11 yards. The NBA returns to TBS on Wednesday, January 8th, as the Pacific Division leading Sonics head to Denver to battle the Nuggets. Winners of 5 straight. The Sonics hold the NBA's longest winning streak, with Gary Payton leading the charge. Chuck Daly and I will be there to bring you the action live from McNichols Arena beginning at 8 o'clock. That's the NBA on TBS, January 8th, Wednesday. 6:42 to go on this ball game. Miami by 10, 1st and 10 from the 30. Now trying to chew up clock. Chewing up yardage out to the 37-yard line. Trent Jones gets 7 this time. And Trent has been the workhorse back here in the second half. 9 carries, 30 yards, and a TD. And there's Crossland, the kicker, who punts and kicks.
When you talk about the running game for Miami, you would think that Daryl McMillan would be in there a little bit more, but he didn't have success today. But where's Edgar and James? He's the only running back for Miami that's had success.
Miami, 234 yards in the first half. They've been held quiet. 3rd quarter. Miami couldn't get anything done, but that's great extra effort by Trent Jones to run for the first down, move the sticks, gain of 9.
Gains 9 yards. While they were
Keep an eye on Jamie Sharper right here. He'll over pursue this play. Look at him go down the line of scrimmage. He just gets too much depth in the backfield instead of coming down the line of scrimmage. When you're in this situation on the offense, all you want to do is what Butch Davis is doing is move the chains, take time off the clock, and let's get out of here with a victory. So they're going to run the ball.
1st and 10 from the 46-yard line. Nothing happening on that as they give it to the up back Carlos Joseph. Jamie Sharper came in to make the penetrating play. Clock ticking very rapidly from a Virginia point of view. 5:17 and counting.
I know they're going to run the ball. You know they're going to run the ball, and so does Virginia. That's why you saw the strong safety, Anthony Poindexter, was one of the first people on the football field to hit the running back.
Butch Davis trying to turn things around under a program that has been hit by so much adversity. Back-to-back 8-3 seasons, and for Miami, that's not what they like. No bowl win since 1991. 2 years of sanctions. Didn't have a bowl game last year. Scholarship reductions. 12 in 95, 15 in 96. They won't go back to 25 until 1997. Trent Jones made the catch. Shannon Taylor recovering. One of the things that Butch Davis likes to talk about with Miami is that 19 of these 20 seniors who are going to graduate will leave Miami with their degree. Classroom attendance up 42% over the last 3 years. And his recruiting class came in, this current recruiting class came in with a 2.8 GPA average out of high school and in the high 900s for the SATs, trying to change a perception and an image at the University of Miami.
And he's doing a remarkable job at it, and that's a tribute to his success and hard work at the University of Miami.
3rd and 11 from the 45, incomplete, clock to 3:58. Add one more note here for Miami, since they are making a lot of changes. This will be the 5th consecutive year that the College Football Association has recognized Miami for exceeding the 70% graduation rate. And that's only one of 9 schools. We talk a lot about the well-known academics at Virginia, but there have been some changes made at Miami.
We definitely have, and Butch has done an excellent job doing that. And when you think about Miami, the first thing you notice is the trouble that the players get into. But people don't realize that there are some great athletes, and not only great athletes, great young men at the University of Miami.
Look at Andy Crossland limping off the field. He kept it in bounds. They downed it at the 10, a 45-yard punt. South Florida was 72 degrees tonight at kickoff here for the 7th annual Carquest Bowl. Miami leading Virginia 31-21. It has been a game of big plays, particularly if your name is Tremaine Mack. Got that one off the foot of Rafael Garcia. And there was Kenny Holmes with the block. Big plays, 10-point lead for the Hurricanes, 90 yards away to pull to within 3 for the Cavaliers with 3 minutes and 44 seconds to go. Aaron Brooks. He's got 7 or 8 yards down at the 19-yard line. Craig Sager.
Well, Bob, the voting for the MVP took place with 8 minutes to go in the game. The votes were counted with 4 minutes to go. And I have the opportunity to tell you that Tremaine Mack was a unanimous choice for the MVP. But then I get that's not a scoop, because Mark May gave him the award about a half hour ago.
I think it was somewhere in the middle of the second quarter, and deservedly.
I think he deserves it. He's had an outstanding game tonight, and he's done it in every facet out there. He's a tremendous young player in full prospect.
And a little bit of a prevent defense here thrown up by the Hurricanes with only 2:59 to go. Thomas Jones with the carry. 10-point lead here, and the Cavaliers would have to strike fast. They ran the ball that time intelligently, really, because they got the first down to stop the clock.
I think it was a smart play by them. First, the quarterback keeps the ball, and he runs, and he gets a big gain, and then just run the ball and get the first down. Move the change. You never know what's going to happen. Maybe you can pop a big play in there, and then hopefully get a touchdown, maybe an onside kick after the touchdown, but they need to throw the ball to be successful in this situation.
1st and 10 from the 23. Out of the shotgun, Aaron Brooks. Missed his receiver. Not a good throw. Intended for Demetrius Dotson.
That ball was thrown about 5 yards behind Demetrius Dotson, and they're not on the same page. I'm surprised that he's not going back to his guy that he's got a great connection with, Jermaine Kroll. I mean, the entire afternoon, the entire evening, actually, he's had a tremendous correlation between the two, getting the ball to him. His first touchdown pass to him tonight was to Jermaine Kroll, and then during the game, throughout the game, he's had the ability to get the ball to him for first downs and move the chains.
Yeah, Kroll has nearly 100 yards, 6 catches for 97. This is 2nd and 10 from the 23. Quick drop, trouble, quick feet, ball's loose. Looked like Owen fell on it at about the 34. That's a difficult way to get 8 yards.
Great hustle by Byron Owen on that play. I mean, he's Johnny on the spot. He was following the play. He was going down to get a block for his quarterback, and he ends up getting the fumble recovery. Right here, Miami comes with a blitz from both sides. The quarterback, Aaron Brook, reads it, and what's smart, he takes off in the middle of the field because no one's there. But unfortunately, the defensive speed for Miami catches up to him and caught up to him in a hurry.
Brian Owen, we told you about him being a walk-on kicker, and ended up worked his way, he was on a scout team, worked his way up to a starting role on this football team.
You love to hear about stories like that, about young men who aren't heavily recruited, who aren't offered scholarships out of high school, but then just come in and work very hard and do all the right things and earn a scholarship and earn a starting position on a Division I football team.
Rick Lance with some words of encouragement. If his defense goes back out there, this is first and 10 at the 34. They don't need to have them going back out there if Virginia wants to have a chance here. Down by 10 with 2:16 to go. Brooks, quick throw, incomplete. A little bit behind Brian Owen, and Earl Little got there very early. Earl Little is number 4, the right cornerback, a senior from North Miami, and he was the closest friend and the roommate of Marlon Barnes, the Miami player who was killed, murdered in the apartment that the two of them shared. And Earl Little has been spending all year trying to overcome his grief, and just last week he went back to the neighborhood and the apartment where the two of them live. Said he stood in the parking lot and just looked up at the window to try to process the grief and get over it. It was his closest friend murdered in the apartment. And Brooks just threw that one away, almost threw the interception. You know, it's tough for anyone to handle tragedy like that, but just think of a 20, 21-year-old youngster having to go through college and also deal with some real life with Marlon Barnes. There's Earl Little's mom.
She's proud of her son. She's got number 4 on the hat also.
Earl Little had a 74-yard touchdown return of a blocked punt versus Temple. Guess who blocked that punt?
Jermaine Mack.
You win the silver dollar. 3rd and 10 from the 34. Throw it out to the right side to their fullback, Darrell Medley. You can just see that Virginia has just about run out of gas. This is going to be 4th and probably 8. And the Cavaliers are about to go 0 for 8 for their games in the state of Florida.
Remember we talked about that earlier. I said maybe we wanted to lick a stamp and mail that in the next time they play in Florida. Well, they haven't had a lot of success here, and it just goes to show you that sometimes it doesn't matter who you play or where you play. There's a jinx against teams. You know, there are those teams that you play against that you just can't beat, and this is one of those things for Virginia. They can't come to the state of Florida and win.
I'd like to have a look, though, at the national average of teams that play in Florida, because who are you going to play here? You're going to play Florida State, University of Florida, Miami. My guess is not a great national record by anybody.
Those are 3 good reasons not to play in the state of Florida.
4th and 7. Brooks. Incomplete, and that'll be the swan song for the Virginia Cavaliers tonight with 1:52 to go in this ball game. Aaron Brooks, a valiant effort. But this Miami Hurricane team that Butch Davis has here, they're trying to straighten their program around, trying to get off the probation, which will end. He'll go back to the regular recruiting allotment of 25 players. They were down to 12 2 years ago, 15 this year. Very pleased with the class he's got coming in here. And Miami may be on their way back. Virginia, you know what? You can count on Virginia. You can count on them winning at least 7 games again.
They've done it 10 years in a row.
We'd like to take this opportunity to thank both Miami and Virginia for their cooperation in helping us to prepare for this year's Carquest Bowl. Special praise goes out to the school sports information directors, Bob Berta at Miami, Rich Murray at the University of Virginia. Together with the staff members in their departments, they made our jobs here at the booth and the truck a lot easier. We pass along our best wishes, all academic and athletic endeavors to each of those schools in this upcoming year. A couple of class institutions here as we've talked really about the story of the adversity in Miami coming back from bad image, and a lot of it brought on themselves with the recruiting and with the problems that the players have had, and Butch Davis trying to change things there. And I think when you look at Virginia, their academic reputation really goes noticed forever since the days of Thomas Jefferson. And what's been wonderful is that George Welch has come into this school where they had never had a winning season, never had a bowl appearance until he came there. They'd had winning seasons, never had a bowl appearance. He came in and they go to 9 bowls in his 15 years. So you can recruit at good schools.
You definitely can, and he's done an outstanding job recruiting not only in the state of Virginia but out of the state of Virginia. That's why this team's competitive. It's because of that man right there, George Welch. When he was at Navy, I shouldn't say this, but they upset a great team out of the University of Pittsburgh in 1978 that should have won that football game. That was a team that I played on in Pittsburgh, and he always has his players ready to play.
But were you injured in that game?
Yes, I was, so I can't take the blame. I was injured in that game, but still, I mean, they played a heck of a game, and we were a good football team. We won the national championship 2 years before that, and that team won 22-2 2 years after that, the 2 years after that, so he beat a heck of a football team that day.
So Miami's going to get 9 wins here. That was one of their goals to come into this bowl game. They were disappointed that they didn't go to an Alliance Bowl as they were co-Big East champions. They said they were a little bit insulted when the Gator Bowl didn't invite them, but invited a team they had beaten, even though the team was glad to come here. You see Aaron Brooks getting some words of encouragement, and you know why that's coming. He's the future. He needs to keep his head right.
You betcha. He and Thomas Jones, the tailback. And these 2 young men, they laid it on the line today. The coaches tell them, hey, we didn't win the game, but there's a future and a bright future for you, my young man.
K.C. Jones, you just saw him there with the head covering. What would you call that?
A do-rag.
I thought you might.
But offensive linemen, we don't wear do-rags. Why is he wearing that thing? Take it off.
I don't know. Maybe he's got long hair too. Maybe he wants to go to the Raiders. What you think? I'll get phone calls there. By the way, just like to thank all the people who helped make our telecast possible at Turner Sports. Executive producer of Turner Sports is Mike Pearl. Coordinating director Larry Cam. Carquest Bowl has been produced by Peter Lasser. Associate producer is Joe Vencius. Technical director is Scott Sickler. Associate director Ted Ballard. Unit manager Pete Scott. Graphics by C.J. Botita. Technical manager Tom Cox. Our spotter Kim Anderson. And statistician Malibu Marty Aronoff. And therein lies the story. Too bad we only have 1:28 seconds to go in this bowl game. Hope you enjoyed our coverage here on TBS. It's been an exciting game. I mean, there's been a little bit of everything happen in this ball game. Tremaine Mack with a wonderful night. Everything promised. You talk about advertising. Tremaine Mack, they said, watch this guy. He will light up the night, and he did.
He's the real deal. He is the real authentic goods, and he makes big plays, and he makes big plays happen. And when you watch this young man play, he's exciting. You know, he's the type of guy that you want to buy a ticket just to watch him play because he makes so many big plays, and he's going to have an outstanding future because he is a football player. Not only a great athlete, but what's more important, he's a great football player.
We talked to Butch Davis about whether Tremaine Mack would come out. He's a junior. You know, a lot of underclassmen in the NFL, NBA, a lot come out. They look at the contracts, and defensive backs, there's a dearth of defensive backs in the NFL. They are looking for defensive backs. However, I thought what Butch Davis said, he had told to Tremaine Mack, he says, the NFL looks for history and consistency. 1 year and you've had a great one may not be enough. You might want to think about it, get a little more money next time around. Mark, you know that road.
Well, I think that's Butch wanting him to come back because he's such a great player. But when you look at this guy, I said it 100 times, he makes big plays, and any NFL team will take a guy that makes big plays, and they'll find a way to use him. He's a cover guy as a safety, and he's a heck of an athlete.
Here's a naked reverse by Clement. You know, he was playing with a separated shoulder against West Virginia, Clement. He also ran down a Virginia Tech back who had intercepted the ball, or I think picked up a fumble recovery. He ran him down, knocked him out of bounds with his separated shoulder. This is, as we said, a tough guy. He is a junior, and he's going to be really pushed by Scott Covington. And speaking of quarterback U, their recruit this year, they've got a commitment from a fellow by the name of Kenny Kelly from Tampa Catholic High School, who is the state of Florida all-time leader in passing. So not only a sophomore Scott Covington, seen here, who had 295 yards and 3 TDs at BC, but they've got Kenny Kelly with a commitment. So Clement, all these great numbers, and his job's not guaranteed next year. Aaron Brooks.
And the
Minute 15 to go.
And the thing that's funny about that, when we talked to the quarterback yesterday, Ryan Clement, it was one of those situations where the head coach, Butch Davis, said, we're going to try to get some quality minutes for Scott Covington in the football game. And then all of a sudden, Ryan Clement came in and said, no, we're going to get some mop-up minutes for Ryan because I am the starter.
At best.
At best.
And we didn't get to see Scott at all. And you know, there's competition between these fellas. I don't think he's sorry at all. That's incomplete. Talking about Ryan Clement, he's not sorry. He doesn't want to share 1 minute of playing time.
Not at all. And his biggest improvement from last year to this year is his interception ratio. 18 TDs and 6 interceptions. Last year he was about 50-50, even with TDs and interception. That's where he's made his most improvement. And he said to us the other day that he got confidence when they appointed him the starter in spring ball. He knew it was his job and no one was going to take it from him.
See that cut on the left of his eye there? He was very kind of proud of that little mark up there, the linebacker attitude. Almost picked off. Another single-digit defensive back. That's hurt a little. Number 4, take it. See the cut there? Just
there you go. He's got one there and a little one there. And you look at this guy. When he came in the room, I thought he just got done boxing with somebody. I didn't know it was a quarterback, but he's a tough competitor and a very intense young man.
Yeah, he's 6'1", 215 from Denver, Colorado. His great-grandfather was governor of Wyoming. You know, it's late in the ball game at a 10-point lead.
We're talking about politics.
We slide into our political coverage. Hope you've enjoyed our telecast tonight. It has been a wild and woolly game here. I'm not sure what the attendance is. They were expecting about 40 to 45,000 people here at the Pro Players Bowl. Virginia not known for bringing a lot of people. They're 1,000 miles away, the campus in Charlottesville. And Miami, despite their now going to be 9-3 season, a lot of their fans a little disappointed in the year and in the last couple of years. But I think Butch Davis may get it going here again.
I think he's turned the corner. Now he's going to get an opportunity to recruit 25 scholar athletes. And I really think he's got this program going in the right direction. And that's what they wanted out of him. That's exactly what they're getting.
Well, after 2 years, Butch Davis' record's going to be 17-6 at Miami. And he gets the Gatorade. He didn't like it, but he got it. He'll like the win. The game will end on that play. The 7th annual Carquest Bowl goes to the University of Miami Hurricanes, 31-21. And from Miami, this is their first bowl win since 1991. I hope you've enjoyed this holiday special on TBS. What a performance tonight by number 3, Tremaine Mack. The Miami defense really stood tall. 11 times Virginia was inside Miami territory and could come away with 3 touchdowns. And let's go to Craig Sager.
All right, thank you, Bob. I'm with Tremaine Mack. Tremaine, first of all, we got to talk to you about the great job your whole team did studying the game. You're a marked man. What did you see on tape or on film about this team you thought, again, you can make the big plays?
Well, we saw that if you stopped Tiki Barber, that was going to be part of the game. I mean, we stopped him in the beginning of the game, put him out of the game for a while, and that gave us some incentive to go out and do what we had to do. I mean, we put him out the game, the big rusher for them. I mean, went out and did what we had to do. I'm grateful for that.
Number 3, a trio of big plays. Let's talk about them. First of all, the fumble return for the touchdown.
Oh, well, I saw the ball come out, and I thought Tony Cole had bounced on it, and then he didn't. And it squared out inside, and I picked it up, and I didn't see anybody but the quarterback, and I knew the quarterback wasn't going to get me.
In the end zone again with the interception return.
Well, with the interception return, we have been going over that all week long, you know, in the flats. And what we really were biting on it, you know. They really didn't run out and up, which is what they should have done. But they didn't do it, and he threw it right to him, and I was stepped in front of it and went I don't know how many yards to the end zone.
And your specialty, the block field goal.
Well, off the first 2 extra point field goal, whatever they were, I knew that I could get in, and my problem was not dipping my shoulder. So I said, we got to have this one. I got to dip my shoulder, get around him. Dip my shoulder and got around him, and there was no, I mean, he didn't get a hand on me after I dipped my shoulder, and, you know, I blocked the kick, and it was great that Dwayne Starks picked it up and got our offense the ball back.
Mark May played in the NFL for 13 outstanding seasons. He and other NFL scouts, other NFL people are very impressed with your ability. The way the rules are now, what else can you prove in Miami, or do you go pro?
Well, I don't know what else I can prove in Miami, but we'll see after debating it for a couple of days or so, and, you know, we'll know after that.
Great job. I know you have to go pick up some hardware. The MVP was a unanimous decision, by the way.
Thank you.
All right, let's go back to Bob and Mark.
As you see, a charming young man, Tremaine Mack, the most valuable player for the 7th annual Carquest Bowl, the 6-foot-tall junior from Tyler, Texas, and an entertaining night he delivered for us here tonight. Once again, the final score from the Carquest Bowl, Miami 31, Virginia 21. NBA action returns to TNT next Friday at 8 o'clock. With a rematch of the 1996 Eastern Conference Finals, the Orlando Magic head to Chicago to battle the Bulls at the United Center. Now stay tuned for a TBS Classic, The Outsiders. For Mark May and Craig Sager, this is Bob Neal saying have a very happy, prosperous, and safe new year, and good night from Fort Lauderdale.